Good morning, good morning. No sound. Thank you so much, everybody. I was like, wow, everyone's popping off, talking really fast. Oh, what are they saying? What are they squinting and putting my reading glasses on? Huh? What's that over there? Oh, no sound. I was saying, Kim, you said you're in a content drought. You came to the wrong place. So today, I want to look over some community stuff, and then I'm going to get into a study. This week, instead of doing a weekly challenge for Huckleberry, I thought we'd follow along with the Drawtober challenge, where there's a number of spooky prompts for October. They're kind of on a weird cadence. It's like every 5 days, and so it doesn't break down on the same weekdays. So the last day of the first prompt, which was overgrown cemetery, spelled correctly, was yesterday. So I turned in mine. I did mine on stream on Wednesday. I was like, I'm going to leave myself an extra day in case I want to touch it up. I decided not to. I just didn't get around to it. So I posted it yesterday, and I submitted as official part of a hashtag challenge on social media for the first time in my whole life. And so I wanted to check in and see if anybody else from the community was doing the same. I was leaving instructions over in the weekly challenge prompts. I was blasting it out to everyone. And I hadn't checked back in to see what people were up to. Oh, Keiku's off the bat with this overgrown cemetery submission. The instructions for these, you can submit it here. We'll take a look at them on stream. And then I'm going to check in on whatever the Drawtober submissions that are coming in every single Friday. But the due dates on them are entirely up to the calendar here. Overgrown Cemetery is going through the 5th. Now we are in Moth-Bitten Library territory. That's going through into the 10th. And if you go over to the Drawtober Discord, which I'm linking to, you can see that each of the challenges have their own channel. And so you can go and scroll through all the submissions like this, which is a pretty good way to do it. So now they're getting the number of submissions for these challenges are astonishing. I'm amazed. Tim has built an incredible thing here. Tim and crew have put together an amazing thing here, and I'm seeing a tremendous amount of art, and it's really fun to be able to participate in this. So I'm curious what you guys have been up to, because I haven't looked in. I like always save myself to have genuine reactions here on Friday. This Keiku's immediately made one of my favorite overgrown cemetery pieces. So congratulations again, Keiku. Always doing a great job. I see you there in chat. Del Monsta, OG. I see you here in chat all the time too. But I haven't seen you do too many studies yet. Or maybe I'm not paying attention to the right spots. Thanks for participating. Lena Ray. Really strong entry. Love the frogs. Anya bailed on me today. Otherwise, I'm sure she'd be cooing over how good the frogs were. You don't post much? Well, thanks for putting in the extra effort to participate. These challenges are here so that people have one more excuse to pull out the drawing materials and get to it. That's really the idea. It's part of the reason I'm endorsing them so much, because it's been getting me to doing regular daily challenges, weekly challenges, stuff like that. Has been getting me to make more art. And it's something that I'm really happy with right now. And so, I figure if it's been working for me, it's got to be working for other people. Oh, this is great. I love the sense of scale here. The lighting in this scene is awesome. Rocks. Copium. What's the copium for? Dish out some excellent emotes here. Not seeing a lot of bone zones. Whoa, Severa, going traditional, same as me. Going the traditional route, I think, earns a little bit of extra points in my book. I love digital. It's my first love of art, and it is my main medium. But there is something special about working in pencil and pen. Taking out the time to do micron, doing pointillism, that's extra. People think that digital art is very slick and very extra, but the truth is that going in and trying to do something really exotic like pointillism, that's really challenging and time consuming, that to me is extra. Stippling, yeah. That deserves a happy dancing skeleton guy. Delia. Very nice. Love the cat. I feel like this pose is so expressive. You've nailed the catness of this whole thing. Very cool. Do I have a good... There we go. Jake Posh. The legendary Jake Frames Posh. I haven't seen Jake around in a little bit. Maybe he's been busy. He's always been slipping art in between other life responsibilities, putting in tremendous extra effort. Hope doing okay. Your art's looking really good. Milan is over here doing a weird dancing sexy Azrael. This is very strange to look at. This is very, very strange. You got to stream
to Discord.
What? Oh yeah, I should stream to the Discord, you're right. When I popped it open before, there was nobody watching on the Discord side of things. And music if possible. Yeah, here Ash is here. Hey. Where do I... Hey. Virtual camera. There it is.
All this art.
And Neil, you can come on stage too if you want. We got some OGs in the house.
What up?
What up?
I just learned Neil's name like a day ago.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I found out because
it
was like I found him on Twitter, and I was like, your name's Neil? This makes me. This is very weird to look at for me. This is very, very weird. But it's learning animation. I mean, you're creating a strong emotional reaction with your animation already, Milan.
The world would be lesser without this piece. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely hitting me. Thanks so much for this. Convincing you to get back into drawing? You better. You don't get to say that and then slowly back away. Well, that's it. That's it for this. That's it for the finals for the Overgrown Cemetery. I've got to start my Mothbitten library piece. I think I'm going to do it on stream again, hand cam. Maybe try it over in Anya's office where there's more light. Maybe swap things around, try some new things out, and I'm going to do that on Monday. Today, I'm going to do one of my classic digital studies. And I've been keeping up with this daily thing for a while. I was working on my daily like late last night. I think this was number 83. I just finished number 84. Did I post it? I don't think I posted it. I think I just threw it in a big pile. I keep forgetting to post them now. I didn't even save it.
My man.
I saved the PSD, seriously? But I didn't even save out a JPEG. I just like saved the PSD and just closed it. I showed it to you. On, like,
whatever. Just dump it over here.
Yeah, I like showed it on a video call on Discord, and then I just closed the file and I didn't even bother saving it. These things really are for me more than for other people. 84. I think there's definitely going to have to be some sort of retrospective at 100.
I think so.
Oh, and I realized that you guys can see the Discord, but you can't see my screen. So all my stuff I was just doing, invisible.
For your retrospective, do like slow fade star wipes with Sarah McLachlan.
Or Enya is a good option too.
I prefer Enya. I take that back. Yeah.
Okay.
But not Return to Innocence. I can't do it again.
I don't think I've seen trio? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what kind of character this is. Like, oh shit! Sidelight always up to cool shit. I haven't poked my head in the dailies channel in a few days, and so I wanted to check this out too. Ooh,
What the?
this is so cool.
Man, that's awesome for a daily.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, this is one of those things I've sort of wondered for myself, is like, I have a general sense of how to do environments, and if I, like, just grind through one where I have a pretty good idea, I can kind of, like, I can throw some rocks and clouds together to make a thing. Oh, this is based off of one of the references I posted.
There's a big spooky ghost in the background.
Spooky Ghost. I'm pulling up the reference for this.
Ghost.
Boopy boopy boop.
This was actually based off of one. I was like, oh my god, they just pulled that out of their head. That's so good. And I realized that no, there is like a big mountain in the background, and just put a cute face on the back of it. It's very cute. I'm wondering if maybe I need to like switch over to doing like maybe imaginative landscapes every day or something for a period of time. I'm starting to formulate these new challenges for myself now that I've had such awesome results with doing these kind of daily portrait studies. Oh man, okay. Avalon. Great work. I'm always amazed when someone's able to get something that looks like so quick, where you can tell there's like not a ton of brushstrokes and it's very loose, and yet they'll nail like a likeness.
That economy.
Yeah. Oh my god, Vital's got this incredible stylization going on. Looks great. Watching you. Yeah, the daily section has got to be the most active text channel that we've got on the server. And, people just keep coming in here and just posting and like pulling out old reference images from the Today is the Day channel, bringing in their own challenges and reposting them here, trying all kinds of weird experiments, and just pushing themselves, getting back into drawing after a long time of not doing it. And it's this interesting mix of people who are like just trying to get their skills back up, people who are trying to hone their skills, people who are trying to like get from that sort of aspirational artist into a professional space. And it's also been like a really positive and supporting place where everyone's kind of like all, giving each other positive vibes the whole time. So it's been my favorite channel to look in on Discord. Eric Key. Doing more really interesting stylized stuff with the environments. So cool. Oh yeah, I saw Subu working on this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Very different style from his usual stuff.
Yeah. I like it. I like that he did something different.
Subu's actually he does all these like thumbnails that he like doesn't show to anyone, and they're really good, and they're like I don't know, like they're just kind of his own thing. Like they don't look like any like anime artist I've seen. They have kind of a, I don't know, he does these things where the characters always have like big boots and kind of like knobby knees.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
quite cool.
Yeah, that drawing originally looked like this guy named Tiago Lehmann's work. At first I literally thought it was that artist, and I love him. But it just doesn't remotely look like Subu's stuff at all, which, I mean, I think it's so cool.
Does Subu have a secret style that he's been hiding from us the whole time?
Yeah. He's got like ask to see his thumbnails. It's like totally different than like his finished stuff, and it's like good.
It's like good, but not good.
I'm gonna look in chat.
I just say like a lot.
I'm joking. I know. I figure it's probably great. I want to see it. Yeah, I haven't seen Jake around much, but he's still out. He's still quietly out here. Good. Doing tons and tons of design work, clearly, because he's like active in the dailies. Oh, this drawing from Jack Black is great. This reminds me of that guy from Street Fighter 3. the weird dude in the Speedo where he's like blue on one half and red on the other. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know his name though.
Uriel, says Dustin. Yeah. This is so fun. But I'm gonna get to my study in just a second here.
Do you know what study you're gonna do?
Yeah, I've got it up on the board already. Let me swap
Oh.
out my yeah, I don't know. Whoop. There we go.
Oh, ooh, that's that hair.
Yeah, she's got crazy hair, right? It's all teased up and stuff.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
This is one of those. She's got those kind of like, very soft elfin faces that like I have absolutely been struggling with.
Really?
I have an easy time with like these kind of like bulkier male faces that have like really defined like facial structure that is like easy to square off. Because I'm thinking about all of the subdivided shapes inside the face. I'm thinking about, you know, the brow ridges and like the way that the mouth kind of folds around the lips and like crags underneath like the eyes and into the cheekbones and stuff. And then when I see like it's all these soft transitions across the whole face with very few edges, I end up sort of over rendering it, and then I'm trying to smooth things out and it's not smoothing out well, and I can't quite get the kind of like linear nature of the way that like the eye and mouth creases work in a way that feels like it's capturing the likeness. And I see it and I see mine and I think I'm pretty close, and I look up at the navigator and it's just goblin, all goblin. And it's been a struggle. Like I feel like this is why I'm just like, oh, if it's another pretty boy model, I'm in great shape. But when it comes to these kinds of girls, I just feel like I'm in for a tough time. Like the other one that was in the reference pile was this, and I was like, we've had a few pretty boys in a row. I don't want to take it too easy on myself. This one, I feel like it would be really easy, just with the way that the light, there's like so much sculpting on the face with this like light that's only hitting like these select few planes, and then it's immediately going. He's got this like, he's got a tan. You can tell he's got a tan because it's immediately going into shadow as soon as there's a little bit of light fall off. And we have all these really large, distinct, blocky shapes. And I'm just, easy. But we're not doing him today. Plus, he's all dramatic and tragic looking. Instant win. But her, we'll see. It's, it's an educational experience. So I'm going to see what I can do.
Subtlety to a certain type of pretty. Oh.
Any suggestions you want to give me to like maybe try something out that might help me with my problems?
Get good, man.
Get good? Yeah.
Oh man,
that's been my
for
strategy.
Me, it's just,
try to.
For me, when it comes to pretty women's faces, it just takes longer. I just have to just get all the pixels just gotta push in just the right spots. So I don't have the answer.
Just give her a nice round face here. She's got her head wings on. She's all like
done.
Bingo, nailed it. I gotta make the hair bigger though.
Oh man, I know how you feel, Pete. When I like transitioned from like semi-realism to like anime, hardest part was like, oh god, I have to draw faces and I can't like just draw in the brow ridge.
Yeah.
I just have to like place the features on like a blank thing. It took literally 4 years of practice before I finally started getting the eyes the correct distance apart and like, not diminishing the side plane of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like anime skips out on a lot of the sort of dimensionality of the head and the face. And so if you can just kind of figure out a formula for it, I feel like you can hack your way through it. But like the thing I always really struggle with is it's like if I just have to draw on, if I just have to like find where the eyes are and just kind of like nail them in the head, I'm going to fuck it up. Like the thing that's really helped for me is actually trying to break down the face into like larger shapes and, you know, figure out where the planes of the head are. And then once I can like get those kind of assembled, I can figure out where the eyes are in a structure like this if I'm figuring out the large shapes into the medium ones into the smaller ones. But with everything getting smoothed out, and I think part of this is youth, part of this is lighting, part of it's makeup, and part of it's Photoshop. And I think it's all adding up to make what is essentially a totally unrealistic face.
And you don't allow yourself to warp or transform, right, for this? Or do you?
A warp or transform? I can do warp and transform my thing. I'm just trying not to do the thing I did before where I did this back and forth to try to like kind of grid-like, you know, organize where everything is. I'm trying to actually spot it and build it like based off of my own perception.
Okay.
I'm Mohrbacher. Welcome. Say they're a big fan. Thank you. I'm blushing over here.
Oh.
Aw.
You know, I'd love to see you do. Although I know you're generally sticking to relative realism, it'd be really fun to see you just go caricature on one of these. Just push the hair super big, face super weird.
I'm gonna push the hair super big. I am.
Yeah.
Like I was joking
That's
with it
enough.
before, and then I was immediately like, "Oh, I'm not joking. I want to do that." Because I do want to try to caricaturize like the gesture a little bit more on a lot of these, and like I've had some fun playing with color and contrast, but I kind of want to like leave the door open to more experiments when it comes to color and contrast with these, because as studies, like they're an open invitation for me to try out a bunch of stuff that I've never done before. Because if they fail, like I didn't even remember to post the last one, and I thought it was good. Like, so if I'm gonna make a bad one, like who cares? I still struggle though with like, because I want things to be right, and like that desire to make things right. I yell at my students oftentimes when I think they're making conservative choices in favor of trying to be right, because generally I think that trying to be right is the wrong choice.
Well, that's what I like about doing pushing the caricature a little bit more, because you hit a point where it's your rules now. I'm the captain.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
You just take over the fucking ship, and you're like, "This is mine now. This is my drawing."
Yeah. And now her legs are 8 feet long. Who's gonna stop me? You know.
Yeah. Yeah. The Photoshop police are not going to come in and arrest me. But I also want to learn about, you know, proportion and like anatomy and stuff from the reference by like, you know, following along and figuring out like what's really in the image and trying to pay really close attention to like what I'm really seeing and not what I'm expecting to see. And I feel like that comes a little bit in conflict with this idea of wanting to caricaturize the form a little bit. But
See, you're able to do that. Whenever I do that, it just makes me better at copying.
really?
And then when I'm like, okay, let me summon up the memory of how I drew that picture of that character. And it's just, no, I'm just like a fucking a Xerox machine. I can recreate it pretty well, but it's like, I don't actually learn the forms because I'm learning the techniques for recreating light and shadow. That's what sticks for me.
Yeah, it's like, this is the downside to doing photo studies as opposed to like life drawing. Because with life drawing, you just don't get like a consistent view. Like you get just enough variation in your viewport all the time from like the model moving and your head moving and all this kind of stuff that you have to do a little bit of like 3D construction. But I've found that like, even though this isn't the most ideal way to study, I still do get a little bit of extra intuition about this, even if I'm not getting like really perfect lessons about, you know, the underlying anatomical structure from doing photo studies.
It's also a joy to do. It's just fun.
Yeah, and like I managed to do a lot as far as like advancing my process by doing these, because you know, I've been able to get more rendering in them faster, and like figure out like, well, how much do I need to do at every step in order to make the next step work. Like there's been a lot of sort of process experimentation that's happened over the course of these studies that has been, I think, useful. I haven't done a lot of imaginative painting since I started them, so I haven't gotten to test it too much, but I'm confident that I am learning. I can feel myself being stronger. So like, I think it's all going to come together. Well, I'm gonna have to do like I'm gonna have to do a run of like imaginative work to like really test it out, because I think the whole point of this is not to be able to do good at like open up a mall kiosk where I do charcoal studies or whatever all day. The point is that I'm going to be able to be better at making character pieces from imagination as a result of making all these. Which I really want to do for my RPG. I was thinking about this today. I'm saying it out loud on my walk. Anya and I went out for a walk on the beach this morning.
Man.
And I was saying I want to like get all of the illustrations and all the edits done for my Major Arcana series this year, and then starting January 1st, I want to start hustling big mode on my RPG art. And so I was thinking about seeing if I could just do quick character pieces in a day, like quick character portrait pieces, like vignettes and stuff for like cool guys that are going to be in my RPG book, and just sit down and like bust one out over the course of 3-4 hours, and just have a work day be like, I do an entire character piece, and then the next day I sit down and I work on something else. And I want to like iterate really, really fast and build a lot of stuff for the RPG to really fill it out.
That does sound awesome. I love character vignettes.
Yeah, like I've been doing these kind of like more elaborate illustrations for Angelarium for the majority of the time that I've been doing it. And the RPG is going to demand a mixture of different types of work. And so I'm going to try to like mix it up. And I think instead of doing studies during that time, I'm probably going to see if I can just like do really fast content for the book. And do some of that live. And like try to do it every day. And like keep the drawing every day part of it going, but mix it in with like something that's a little bit more imaginative.
Before you mentioned that you were on a walk with your wife, Anya, I thought you were like walking around the city loudly talking to yourself about your upcoming
No, I was
RPG project.
loudly talking while walking along a beautiful beach. Yeah, I was just like telling the pigeons while I was walking about my plans for my RPG.
Hey, they won't judge. They're not going to tell anybody either.
Anya tried to take a photo of a stork, and it like flew away, and it like screamed at her. It's like, fuck off, bitch! I'm like, we're like, whoa, that bird was
Storks are
pissed.
mean.
I was like,
I don't know why storks are the symbol of like parental birds. They kill their babies, man. They're not nice birds.
really?
Yeah, there's too many of them. They just knock them out of the nest. Yeah, I don't want you anymore, and just boop. Yeah, not cool.
We can't judge nature by humanity's standards of morality.
I suppose.
See, look, I've got this. So I've got a body and hair and stuff, and I'm like, I can knock that in, make it nice and loose. And then the face, I'm like, maybe I'll just draw like a cross or something in here. Just call that a day. Be like knocking in the face loose always feels so unproductive to me, because I can be like, what are we getting? Where are we going with this? Like, I'm not sure what I can do in here that's going to be like useful for later. Definitely, I think I should probably keep it like large and like blurry, because I don't really know I don't really want to make a guess at like this precise way that these edges are going to line up. But I don't feel like it's the same. I don't know. Immediately feel like it's not the right sized face or like the not right sized head or something. It really psychs me out getting the face roughed in.
I think it's looking good.
It's fine. It's fine. Thankfully, it's not the step that I need to work on right now, so I can kind of like hit it with a little bit of light shading and then just move on, because who fucking cares? I'm gonna do a little bit of round brush and get some more precise and get at least like pull it off the background tone a little bit and start to build in some like more precise highlights and shadows and just have that mocked in and then build in some of the larger, softer gradients. To me, like getting that done is just way more productive than trying to like figure out exactly where the eyes and the nose and the mouth are going to be. At least at this point. So I like this idea of just deferring the work that's not necessary until later and just focusing on like, what do I need to do right now to push this ball forwards? Like rather than what is catching my eye or what's the most interesting or whatever, just like what can I do in the broadest possible sense to make this thing more like how I want it? And it's kind of delayed gratification. It feels like an exercise in delayed gratification. And the more I find that I like do that over and over again, the more it seems like the piece just kind of paints itself later, which is exactly what I want.
I do the same thing with color. I'll just throw a bunch of smattering of blobs down. Mostly, I mean, for me, it's front loading the color because I'm colorblind, so that helps. But also just getting a bunch of texture in early, and then it just looks like a mountain of a blob of mushiness. But it's front loading myself for later. It shows. It pays
That's
itself
something I
off.
need to try. Maybe since I've got you here and I've got your brushes, maybe you can point me towards some of those brushes that do that hue variation, the sort of hue randomization.
I mean,
You have some of
painted
those, right?
pencils, painted pencil is my favorite. I think the hard elliptical does it.
I gotta
Let me
try that
see.
out.
Oh.
I really like that sort of like introducing tons of random little color smears in just with the brush strokes as like a way of
Yeah.
like putting in material that you can then kind of like push around and harvest later.
Yeah. I've probably moved my brushes around on mine a little bit since I put out the version that you have, but the ones that have it are painted pencil, shred slats, hard elliptical.
Shred
I think the
slats.
scrape has it.
That's
Yeah,
hardcore.
shred slats. If it says color dynamics on it, it'll also do it. I mean, really, just take any brush you like and then just hit F5 and turn on color dynamics, make it set to pen brusher, and then adjust the jitter to your liking.
We'll just do that with my round brush in a second then,
Yeah.
if it's really that easy. You can walk me through this. And if there's any other
Right.
interesting brush experiments. This is like actually it's coming together pretty fast, so it'd be a good day today to maybe mess with some brush experiments to give myself a little extra challenge, a little more exposure to stuff today. Oh, she's got like there's a little panel separation on the dress here.
Oh god, I'm doing my like daily do a study of like some person wearing medieval armor, but like as an anime girl thing.
Uh-huh.
I picked an image that's in profile.
And now you
It's
got to
gonna be
draw
interesting.
a cat profile, the cat face, anime cat face.
Yeah. It's not the face I'm concerned about. I don't know. I just like I do so many designs, right, that I'm always drawing characters in like 3/4 view. And like I get a bit less confident if I have to draw them from the side.
Okay. Yeah, there was something about the sort of width of the shoulders that was bugging me. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Also, I know I like drawing long necks and stuff, but I feel like it's the size of her head is not proportional to her body based off of the reference here.
I think it's the angle. I think the long neck would be fun to do, but it makes her chin look too short from this vantage point.
I think that with the long neck, maybe the head needs to get moved over a little bit.
That might make it work. Might. Probably the right, I was thinking.
Is it right, you think?
Well, you want the...
Because she's kind of tilting, with her head tilting to the
Yeah.
left, I imagined it was kind of like rotating a bit.
Yeah, you might rotate it. I mean, can't say this is the right solution. This is more of a wiggle around and see if it does anything. Which is pretty much my approach to most art.
Is it? Well, I've also just got the face kind of high up, the features kind of high up on the face.
Yeah.
We will get this all sorted eventually.
Yeah, I say just go with a shorter neck. That's my vote.
Think so? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do a little soft brush on this. And then cut in the silhouette, and then it's time to start messing with the color.
Really cool.
There's a lot of this kind of gradient happening here on the face. Just there's so much more light hitting the forehead. I think getting that established quickly is going to save me a lot of angst later. What does Tony Soprano say? That his agita?
Agita?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I know his gabagool.
He's got the gabagool. I had no idea what that was about until like years later.
Really?
Yeah, capicola.
Really?
He's just
I
like
had to
pronounces
Google
it
it
in an
immediately.
insane way. It's like not even close to how Italians say it.
Oh, I thought that was like the slang, like for what is that capicola?
Yeah, he's trying to say capicola, but he's saying like gabagola.
What?
Yeah, he's talking about the cured meats, you know, capicola.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like he's decided that's how Italians pronounce it, but it's not even fucking close. I mean, I'm not close either, but it's like he's like miles away, and then it's become iconic.
I had no.
Yeah.
I even looked it up. I was like, "What's a gabagool?" Oh, that's what a gabagool. No explanation of this. Wow. Now, yeah, capicola.
Yeah.
My brain.
I
is,
just looked over at the chat, and there's something about bacteria and eczema. What the? Man, I gotta. I lost the script on that. I was talking with you, and now I'm like off on the chat. It's like got to be one or the other, right? It's got to be exercise related because they're talking about creatine now.
That seems relevant.
Seems relevant, yeah. I haven't gotten to the level of like being involved in working out that I like gone and bought the creatine.
But are you getting some gains in?
Oh, I mean, baby gains, sure. You know,
Gains work.
So like I discovered what the challenge is trying to get into shape like when you're nearly 40 is that recovery takes longer. So it's like hard to get 2 workouts on the same muscle group in the same week because it takes me 5 days to recover. If I could like bounce back from a workout in 3 days, I could be, you know, in there 6 days a week hitting everything. But I can't. It takes me nearly a week to recover from any one workout, and so it's just gonna take a while, just because I can't hit it all the time. All right.
Hey, on the bright side, I mean, you don't have to push yourself too hard.
Yeah, and whatever. Let's see. So red for the hair. So maybe we do another blue background. Something maybe a little on the cyan side. Maybe even go further.
Did anyone get a banana earlier?
Oh yeah, nobody got a banana. It was like maybe we got to take a second.
And also, I could start the giveaway too.
Oh yeah, let's start the giveaway.
I think I missed what the bananas are about.
Same XP pen?
Let's do the Huion today. Can you look up the specifics for me while I'm painting? Because people have been asking, like, what in specific are we giving away? And I'm like, I don't know, like a 6x10 tablet. And then they're like, which one? And
it's just the Huion that's on the website?
Yeah. Somebody told me that they like the Huions better. And XP Pen never got back to me. They're like, do you want to do promo with us? I was like, yes. And I circled back with them even, and I got nothing back ever.
Cool.
They must have heard that I like totally ripped off Zen Slabs last year. Oops.
Huh?
Sorry, Zen Slabs. They sent me a tablet to review, and I never reviewed it. It's in my house. I should give it away. It's a $250 tablet.
Was it any good? Review it now.
It was fine. It works all right. The texture of it was good. The little extra hotkey thing, I thought the buttons were too sticky, and like hard to press. The knob was pretty cool though, but I wish it was like a smoother. It like rolled smooth instead of having like really big chunky. Like each like turn was like broken down into fairly large chunks that were like individual button presses rather than like a kind of smoother transition, which I wasn't crazy about. And the software was slightly worse than Wacom, and I don't really love the software for Wacom, so it was like it was good. I mean, if you like really hate it, if like Wacom like slept with your wife, you would be like you wanted asked if ZenSlab you could get by with a ZenSlab, I'd be like absolutely, but they're like basically in the same price point. So they're fine, they're just fine. And like, I didn't want to be like, hey, I took your thing and then I told you your stuff was like fine, but not my favorite. It's like, do you want me to write that? And then they just like didn't write back to me, and I was like, all right. Yeah.
Oh, you told them that? Oh, so you did your part.
And then I was also, but it was also like, they're like, are you going to post about it to your 150,000 or 450,000 like Instagram followers? I'm like, I've never posted a hardware review ever, and I don't have a lot of interest in posting hardware reviews. So it's like, I don't know why you thought this was a good fit. Some of them who contacted me were like, we want you to create an entire illustration about your relationship with our product. I'm like, no. Just send it to me and I'll like try it out, and if I love it, I'll like
Wait. How much would they have to pay you to get you to do that? I want
to get me to do what?
to get you to paint an entire illustration about your relationship.
$10,000.
Like, is that
$10,000?
I think they can afford that. I bet they would. I bet they would if you pushed on it.
Listen, if one of the tablet makers wants to spend $10,000, I'll do like an illustration about where it's like one of my angels like drawing on your tablet or whatever.
I want to see this, and I don't want this like no like chibi like fake like I just did in afternoon stuff. I want
just like
full
my regular style illustration, and I'll do it
Zodiac.
about digital art, and it'll be Angelarium based and whatever, and it'll be included with like glowing only my positive thoughts about your product. But like, I got another one that was like this thing that was just a big pile of knobs. It was like a lump of like metal and plastic with like tons of like buttons and knobs sticking out of it. And at first I thought it'd be really good for like working on the road and travel, just because like hotkeys on a laptop are kind of a pain in the ass. And I tried it out for a little bit, and I told him, I think this thing's pretty good. And then I tried working on it back at home on my desk. I was like, I don't really find myself using this. I don't really have tons of positive stuff to say. And they're like, could you write positive stuff anyway? I'm like, they want me to like go way out of my way and turn this into a whole project in exchange for like free products that I'm not even really using. And I'm like, no. I get them. I convince them to like send me the stuff. And they're like, do you want a free thing and like to write a review? And I go, yeah. And then there's no contract. And so I don't like and then I get it and I'm like, I don't really like it that much. Do you really want me to write that I don't like it that much? And then they're like, can you write something nice? And I'm like, I don't want to. They're like, can you produce a video? And I'm like, I'm not going to do video editing for the sake of you giving me a free like, thing covered in knobs that I'm not using. No. So I think over time, like the word may have gotten out in the hardware community that people should like stop sending me free hardware. I'm definitely making a case against it.
You're on a list.
Yeah, I'm on a list somewhere for sure.
What the? Well, get back
Okay,
on it.
the
So you have
giveaway
free
is
stuff to
up, so everyone can go to the Friday giveaway channel on the Discord.
Friday
I'll
giveaway.
link it.
And there is an emote, and if you click that emote, you are entered to win. And you can see the listing is here on there. And that's the tablet that we're going to... Oh, it says 1 winners already. Huh. Oh, yeah. There's going to be 1 winner. So if you click that, you're going to be entered to get it. And I'll ship it to you. I'm just going to buy it from Amazon and have it shipped from Amazon directly to you. I'll get your shipping info for you after the show. We're going to announce a winner in 50 minutes, 49 minutes. And there's a link in the chat, in the Twitch chat here. Yeah. I was in the airport once, and I was talking about something related to international waters, and some guy told me that he was on or I was talking about the no-fly list out loud in like kind of a loud way. Some guy told me that he was on, him and some other guys he knew were on the no-fly list. I don't remember how he was still in the airport. It was like on the no-fly list, and he claimed it was because him and his friends like to go fishing in international waters. And I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Like, I was just like sitting there in the airport, and this guy started telling me the story about how it was unfair because he liked fishing in international waters so much, and now now the CIA was like on his ass. Sometimes I wonder where that guy is right now. I think I know exactly where he was on January 6th, though.
Oh no! Wow, ba-dum.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna do some color on this. I don't really feel the need to refine this a lot more before getting into color, personally.
So you're talking before about like the knobs and the buttons on the
Yeah, you want a thing covered in knobs?
I'll take one. Sure.
I got a spare
I don't know if
one.
I'll use it. I don't think I'll use it, but I'll take it. I'll do a review about it.
Yeah.
Do you actually use the buttons on your tablet? I never, ever do.
Never.
I've tried to.
And the buttons on the Intuos. Oh shit! Is this a 5 or a 6? I'm flipping it over. 5. My Intuos 5 Touch. They're not like clicky buttons. They're like recessed into like a rubber mat. And so they don't even like stick out, and they're not very tactile. They're like deeply unsatisfying buttons. And they've also got like a little touch wheel or whatever. I'm touching it now, and I wish it wasn't doing anything. But it does like a zoom.
Yeah, I'm doing mine right now, and I forgot I deactivated all of them.
Yeah, I thought I definitely deactivated the touch because it's just like every once in a while, like it detects your palm, and like you set your hand down and your thing like shifts around. You're like, oh, whoa, stop whatever you're doing. Don't do that.
Same.
Don't do it. And then like they have these buttons and stuff. All I want is like a really good surface. And so like the tablets that we're giving away, these $50 tablets, it's like 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. They have a better aspect ratio than the one I've got because mine is 6:9 and theirs is 6:10. So it's actually closer aspect ratio to a 16:9 monitor. And then no fucking buttons. And like, that's all I ever want.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah, the difference between I'm currently on a $500 Intuos. I shifted away from the Cintiq. The difference between this and my, I think, $90 Wacom Bamboo is like so minimal. Like it's
Yeah.
like 2% better for me to use. Like I really don't. You
I
don't need to go big
I used
on
to have
these.
a bamboo that I thought was pretty good, and then I don't know what happened to it, and we bought another one, and the surface was like rough. It was like paper textured, and I hated the texture of it. So like I never used it just because it was like setting me off, like sort of a
Oh really? Ew.
yeah, just like a sensory. It was
Mine-
like causing sensory issues for me. I like a slick surface.
Yes, we were just talking about this last night. How
I like a
people
slick
will
surface.
pay extra for like the paper texture. Ew. No, it's like touching a
Oh,
chalkboard.
Ash has pen tablet gang too.
Yeah. I have two Cintiqs and I never use. Well, one of them got busted. The backlight blew out in it, and I'm not paying to have that fixed.
You blew its
And then the
back
other
out.
one was a Huion. Yeah, the Huion was nice, but the stand I just was hunching a lot on it. So I don't hunch when I'm using a tablet without a screen.
Right. Oh, F5 is a hotkey for opening up the brush settings. Holy shit. I hadn't
didn't know
remapped it.
that?
No, I never. Because I just have it up here on the panel. And I
I
hooked
like
it
that
up.
you remembered that what I said like 30 or 40 minutes later.
Dude, my retention rate for utterly useless, like, facts is crazy.
Apparently not using F5 before now, though.
Yeah, but no one's ever mentioned it. No one ever told me F5.
Oh,
Color
man,
dynamics.
I hit
And then
yeah, color dynamics.
hue jitter.
Okay, so I go to color dynamics, turn that bad way on. Make sure pen pressure is set to it.
Control pen pressure.
And then your hue jitter is basically whatever you feel. I mean, I'd maybe do 3 to 5%. Very small amount. Just enough to get a little bit more color in.
Saturation.
And I do
channel.
that for foreground, background, and hue. Saturation, brightness, purity, I leave alone.
Okay.
Just be prepared to hit X a lot to switch between your foreground and background.
Yeah, I mean, I already have a touch for X, so it's like. What's it? Okay. I'm not seeing a lot of jitter.
It's really minor. It just adds a tiny little bit of more.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen some that
You
like.
You try more. You want to go for it, go crazy with it. Why not?
Ooh. It's just creating kind of a gray. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's doing something. This is kind of what I was
Most
imagining,
important-
is doing something that had that kind of like pearlescent quality to it.
Ah. Yeah, I need to honestly play around with doing it. The higher amount again. I've just gotten so used to doing it with something really low.
On normal, I bet it's probably fine, but for the glazing, I think it's probably.
Yeah, no. It's super important to do it for me while you're building up the forms. Like that's part of the magic is getting all the value. For me.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody to get it on the page with Pen Tablet Gang.
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I know plenty of people use Cintiqs, but like, how many, like, seasoned professionals don't? 'Cause the assumption is, of course, no, you get the better.
Oh,
big,
yeah,
fancy
you got to use the more
tool
expensive shit. Definitely.
to be a real artist. Otherwise, you're just faking. You're posing.
But I feel like there's a kind of aspirational purchase for a lot of up and coming artists where they're like, I've got to get the screen tablet. The screen tablet is how I unlock the whole like professional game.
Well, I mean, it also is like, well, I spent the money on this thing. I better be doing my art. I will say, I know it's been a minute since I've used a screen tablet. That like my line work did seem a little bit easier to pull off. For painting, it doesn't really matter. but like I felt like I was getting better lines with it.
Oh yeah, for drawing, absolutely, I could see it.
I kept thinking the reason I was bad at drawing was like I didn't have a screen tablet. That wasn't the reason. I was just bad at drawing.
Well, yeah, well, I was trying to do some line work last night, and I'm just like, I can't get the fucking render. And then I did it on paper, and it's like, yes, it's not me.
It might help.
Hmm?
It may very well help. I was just like, I don't know. I was like convinced that like, oh damn, the problem is I can't afford expensive enough hardware.
Yeah.
Not
If
that
only
I
you
just
had more
haven't
money,
practiced.
you could be good
It's
at art.
not major. It's not a major difference. It's very small. Like for the cost, it's not necessarily worth it. Or again, back problems.
I thankfully have never had back problems.
I don't yet, and I don't intend to.
It's part of the reason I want to exercise is to like ward off the many problems that are coming down the pike for somebody who's like
Sure.
got a sitting job, many years of sitting.
At the same time, watch how you lift, because that can undo all of it.
Focusing on technique.
Yeah.
I have a friend who, was hospitalized for a while.
Milan's asking,
he was
can
an
people from
artist.
Serbia and other faraway countries participate in the giveaway? The answer is yes. And the reason is because I'm just going to get your local Amazon to ship it to you. So I'm going to pick an Amazon retailer that's like closer to where you live, and I'm just going to have them ship from there. This is like everyone who's won this except for like one person has been international, and I have not spent that much on shipping. And they've shown up really quick too. The only one that's kind of up in the air is that Pyro is in a country that doesn't have like a local Amazon, I don't think. Or I couldn't figure out, and so the shipping was a little more expensive, but taking a little longer, and I sure hope it's like, yeah, Huckleberry is like 64% outside the U.S.
I don't know if that's a lot of people outside the U.S. or a lot of people inside the U.S.
Yeah, some countries don't have Amazon, but like Amazon is still really good at shipping international. So I'm kind of liking, this is one of my classic gradient maps because it like completely undoes like over rendering. And I like what I'm getting as far as some of these like subtle colors, like these purples in here and these bluish shadows, and like the way that like the colors on the highlights are coming out. I feel like if I were to take this and run with it, I could definitely make something out of it. So it's going to be a matter of like grabbing what's there and then smushing it around into the appropriate spaces, and then probably doing a little bit of extra color touch-up on top of it. But I'm actually thinking about doing this because the subtlety of it, I think, is really striking.
No, I love it. Which gradient map is that?
This is I think it's just the classic copper gradient map. I have also made a blue version of it, a blue copy. So I have a warm version and a cool version.
Okay. Because I haven't found myself using that copper one yet. What is it, set to hard light or something? What mode?
Soft light.
Soft light. Okay.
And it undoes like sort of if you are over rendering things or it's got like too much lighting on it and you want to flatten things a little bit and bring out the it brings out like the what do you call them, ambient occlusion shadows, the tightest ambient occlusion shadows. You can see how linear these shadows get over here, how like the shadows kind of like retreat away back into the corners. And then you also you can see how it's bringing out highlights here. It brings out specular highlights as well, so it creates this sort of high pass look by flattening out all the middles and then like punching up the edges. It's an artistic look. I think I actually really like what it does to this photo. I think it actually brings out some of the best qualities in this photo for my taste. And I really like doing this to my paintings in progress, especially when I feel like I'm kind of overdoing bits. Like I feel like it's kind of been pushing towards this more low-key lighting. And then we end up with something that is like kind of blown out, burnt out look, which if you can get all the subtleties in there is possibly going to look pretty good. We can also we can also mask this to maybe have it focus in a little bit more on the center of the form. Okay, let's see where this goes. This is a little rougher than I typically am at this stage, but you know, I feel confident that I can take it to where it's going to go from here. And then let's see, I've got this, I've got the foreground background jitter still on. I'm not exactly sure how to control this. Do you really need to make like 2 color selections? I guess I've got it up really high. I'm going to turn this off for the time being. Unless, has it infected my brush? It has. Ooh. Okay. Turn the color dynamics off. Move some windows around here. Okay. See, Comic Stance is saying they're having trouble entering the giveaway. What kind of problems are you having? Oh, maybe it worked. Okay, good. Should work. Oh, you know what? Put on background tunes. If we're getting into focus time here, we're going to have some focus music. Stream Beats by Harris Keller. Welcome us back to the chill study zone.
Oh God. Nothing good is coming out today.
Just give
It's
it
still
a little
early.
time. Give it a little time.
Yeah, it is early. I threw the first one out. I just spent an hour and like couldn't get a sketch together. I was happy with.
Hey, knowing what to throw out's a skill, man.
Draft up a stream checklist that you can print up and have next to your monitor. Yeah, the stuff that's required to boot up for the stream is becoming quite the list. It's fine. It's fine.
Having a tough time drawing a surcoat. Gotta draw, I don't know, like an anime woman wearing baggy clothes. Anime women seem to wear skin-tight clothing a lot for some reason.
Yeah, but baggy
know
clothes
why.
is the Zoomer fashion style these days.
It is.
Their coats are coming back.
Surcoats?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
how-
those like tabard things that like knights wear over armor.
Is it like
I'm waiting for
surcoat?
frock coats, man. I think
Oh,
I'm just gonna have to get my own frock coat.
I'm trying to guess
What kind of
whether or
coat is
not
that?
I think girls in LA would wear a surcoat.
Oh, you got a shill for followers.
Oh yeah, show for followers.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
show for followers.
If you guys are
Yeah.
watching this and
If
you're
you
not
guys are watching
following,
this and
then
you're not following,
fuck
then,
you. Get out of here.
fuck you, get
You're
out
not you're not wanted. Goodbye.
But,
Bell bottom
if you
jeans
put
are
Louis
back
V-
are getting back in.
Oh, you're reverberating,
Yeah, I think it's Dustin.
Dustin.
Dustin put in an order for custom
Dustin.
IEMs and it's taking like months to come in, so he's got some reverb. No, yeah, follow the channel if you want to see when I'm going to go live. And not fuck you. Definitely welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I'm trying to imagine if I could see Billie Eilish wearing this. Yeah, like if I can, I
Billie
feel like
Eilish
if I can imagine Billie Eilish repping this fit, then I could see like 30% of all Zoomer girls in LA wearing it. I'm gonna say yeah.
1000% yes.
What about these? Is this a gorget also? Surcoat and hood
No,
set?
that's Gaga. Gaga would do that.
I'm not. Well, these arm things, they're pretty rad, but I think this is gonna stay in the club. This, I could see these kind of like shoulder wraps coming back. This is pretty fire.
Yeah, you could be like one of those spitting geckos.
But I mean, can you not like okay, ignoring everything else and the fact that this dude has got gamer face. Like, could you imagine like a, girl in a cute dress wearing like a layer that's like off the shoulders like this that goes all the way up on the neck? Because I feel like I could see it.
No, I mean, no, it's not beyond the bounds of reality.
There's a chance. Make it a nice pastel color.
Exactly. And I think a little bit of a lighter fabric than this. I don't think you'd want something that's that constructed. I think you'd want something that's a little bit flowier. That would maybe
Louis
feel a little
Vuitton.
bit like, maybe 1970s-ish, but maybe that's kind of like where we're aiming these days. Yes, Pete, it's called a cape and they exist. Is it really a cape though? I mean, it's like so much more around the shoulders than it is around the back.
Yeah, it's not just a cape. It has a name and I don't know it.
All these medieval
Google
clothing
cape.
pieces,
Oh.
they've all got cool names.
Yeah. There's YouTube channels that just like go through all of them and like tell
Oh,
you about
yeah.
the history of various like ways, like of various heights that you wear the belt hat on your shirt throughout
Could-
history.
I think it's called Crow's Eye Productions. Is fucking fantastic. I believe
There's one
that's
called
what they-
Prior Attire.
That's a good name.
That's
Can't argue with that. Prior attire. I saw this thing, and I don't know if it was a goof or not. Someone was saying that, like, every year as it comes up to October, that Google searches for lock picking goes way, way up. And therefore, the number of views for the lock picking lawyer go through the roof every October.
I notice I see more video recommendations and like Reddit things about lockpicking. At least now, this time of year.
Is there, but I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the story on why October is, like, the month for lockpicking? Is it just, like, Lockpicking Awareness Month? What's going on?
It's when all the, slasher movie killers come out.
Yeah, it's true.
It starts to get cold outside and you want to break into people's
Do you think it's all the
houses and
knife-wielding
scare 'em.
maniacs trying to figure out how to get into your bedroom while you're sleeping?
That's
You know,
gotta be
we
it.
just assume they're maniacs. They
Uh-huh.
they have jobs. They hold down regular lives like the rest of us. Hardworking maniacs.
I just imagining like Hassan fucking browbeating someone for suggesting that like a knife wielding maniac breaking into your home is anything but like normal working class behavior. Oh, you're gonna shame
Just
somebody
escalate
for
to
coming
that
into your house with a kitchen knife and trying to stab your whole family to death? Really? Do better.
There are homicidal neighbors.
Yeah.
All right, slasher movie killers.
Yeah. I got those eyes way too close together. She's got
It's fine. She looks kind of like what's her name from Aliens? You know what I'm talking?
Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver, a little bit like Sigourney Weaver.
Mine looks a little bit like Sigourney Weaver. The model,
Yeah.
I don't think looks like Sigourney Weaver.
No, she does not.
It's sort of the problem.
But Sigourney Weaver's cool.
I do like Sigourney Weaver a lot. I think she's great. But yeah, the way that the hair is kind of intersecting across the face feels like it's the boundaries of the face, and therefore is like slimming out the face a lot more than I'm intending. So I got to figure out a way. Maybe I'll just soften up these edges a little bit, sort of suggest a softer transition between the hair and the face for the time being, while I like work everything else out. That'll keep me from getting locked into a kind of like sense that it is slimmer than it is. Also, I think bringing out these highlights in these cheeks a little wider is going to help that a little bit.
Yeah. I think that the model has more of a heart-shaped face, and she has this kind of a little more of a point closer to the A-line.
Oh my god, I got to turn you up. I'm sorry.
That's. I was
You're like
mumbling.
And
I think she has like more of a heart-shaped face, and she has a bit more of an A-line shaped jaw, which will make her face seem a little bit wider next to. So if you maybe made her jaw like pointed inward, I think that might convey what she's got going on.
Yeah. Heart-shaped face. That's a good point. Yeah. So the wider cheeks and then the narrower chin should do a little bit of work on this. And then I'm going to bring some of this shading down into the mouth region. Just like that's the biggest thing that helped me make faces look more feminine was I realized that I was trying to get like the highlight to be like on everything. So it was like the highlight in the forehead, the highlight in the nose, highlight in the cheeks, over the mouth, lip, chin. We're all getting the same amount of light everywhere. And I was getting a lot of light through the cheeks too. And it's just like when you start to define all those features, it just, you end up with this much more square face overall every time. But the way that women are lit and the way their makeup is done always ends up changing the shape of that, and oftentimes you get that more recessed area underneath the cheeks, get more shadow around there, less light hitting that chin, and I think a lot of that just comes down to the way that the lighting and photography is done. But it's all that those kinds of exaggerations went a long way to helping me create a better impression of femininity in my faces.
Women and their elaborate lighting setups, following them around everywhere they go. Am I right, lads?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Just given my situation, I've been quite obsessed with these light. Like when I want to look more feminine, I have to wait, gotta find the light right.
Yep.
Even when I'm as a trans person, even when I'm in a room, and I'm like in public, I'm like, okay, where's the light? Where do I stand? It's there. I wonder if cis women do this kind of shit or
I don't know. I just know that like I was never considering like how much light was hitting the relative different features on the face, and I was like, man, all of my paintings of women, they're looking more masculine than they should, and I don't understand what the matter is. And then I was like, oh, if I just like shade the chin back, it's just like, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, and then like all the places is like this highlight over the eye that like, you know, guys are always trying to make their fucking brows look like this, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Heavier
big
brow.
shadow over the
Supraorbital tortoise.
yeah, and then it's like, but then like women are painting on these highlights up here, and I'm just like, oh, I get it. It's all bullshit.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Supraorbital tortoise sounds like such a good video game.
Tortoise.
Super orbital tortoise. My kid would play that.
Yeah, I'd play it.
He's big into turtles and goofy
Good.
video games.
What's the goofiest video game you played?
The goofiest video game I've played?
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? The totally accurate battle simulator? Tabs?
I don't know that one. I don't know it.
You don't know it? You set
No.
up
So the
like
one
a
where you
bunch of
have, like-
soldiers on two sides, and they're like wavy. They're basically like one step more realistic than wavy tube men. And but they're all like soldiers from different eras. So it's like pikemen versus ninjas or whatever. And they're just sort of like
that's-
weird wavy tube men versions of those ideas. And then you have a certain amount of like army points to put into each side. And then you unleash them, and you can kind of control one guy, but everybody else is just like physics simulated, and they like try to kill each other with, you know, a combination of like spears and swords and lightning bolts and whatever, and magic spells and whatever else, and it's very goofy. It's like a totally physics-driven battle simulator.
That sounds really fun. Is it on Steam?
It is on Steam, yeah, and I think it's also on Game Pass right now. So we've got it on like the Xbox too. Kids will be bored sometimes. They'll just boot that up, and they'll just like set up weird, like, you know, totally accurate historical fights.
Is it multiplayer?
You can, so that like people, yeah, you have like set a certain number of points, and then you have an arena, and each side can like sort of assign their points to buy, you know, like Roman legionnaires and like samurai and whatever, and set them up, and then have them like desperately flail at each other until like they all get wiped out by a giant mammoth that just goes and plows through the entire crowd. It's awesome.
Well,
What like
dang,
one of the
I'd be
you
down.
can get like, it's like, you know, like a bunch of historical groups, and then like cavemen and like Greek gods and all kinds of random crap.
I'd be down to clown sometime.
Yeah,
Ever want to play?
it's this
get it.
it's like it's Twitch bait. It's absolute Twitch bait.
Perfect.
I have not
Right,
I've not
yes.
actually gamed on Twitch yet, believe it or not. One of these days I should just cave and like indulge in my like love of Metroidvanias here live with chat.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what would you play? Which one?
I don't know. I just finished playing both Blasphemous games.
Yeah.
They were. I was like a little cold on them while I was playing them, and then immediately after I looked back, I was like, wait, no, actually, those games were really fucking good. I haven't played the Ori games. Sorry, Nathan.
I think that'd be a good start. And have you played Hollow Knight?
I mean, I've played a lot of Hollow Knight, like a lot.
Good. You-
I
okay. We can
yeah.
sure.
Hollow Knight is like one of the only pieces of fan art I've ever made.
Oh yeah, you made. I remember you made. Yeah, of course you played Hollow Knight. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
I played a lot of Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight. I replayed Symphony of the Night recently too.
I thought about picking it up. How was it?
It's really interesting. So Symphony of the
25 years
Night,
later.
more so than any of the games that has mimicked it, has like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. There's so many weird, dumb features and items and like areas and enemies that would never have made it into a regular video game, and for some reason, they're all in this like 20-year-old game. 25-year-old game. It's so old. It's so ancient.
Konami.
And like it comes from an era when like everything was expensive and difficult to make. And they just took every sprite they had in the entire Konami library and they crammed it all into one title for no reason. And they just kept adding features, like just features no one would ever use, and they just like threw them all in the game at once. There's almost nothing to compare it against in terms of like the absurd amount of scope for this game. It's just like a weird playground. I almost wish that they had kept going with the kind of Breath of the Wild style, like more simulation-y stuff. Just because it's already kind of like too much game, that like making it even more of a playground might have actually been like the only thing I would do different with it. But it's also, yeah, it's like it's weird because it's like nothing about the progression of it makes sense. Like it's totally unclear where to go most of the time, and so you just find yourself wandering around, like bumping into random set pieces throughout the castle for no reason.
And you would think Alucard of all people would know his own castle.
It changes every time. Every time you go in there,
oh,
it's a new generation. It's a new castle, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I take that back.
I love Alucard. I love the way that I love the Ayami Kojima art. I love the weird voice acting. I love like the way he's written. It's great. I mean, I think part of the love of like the modern day Castlevania series comes from like groundwork that was laid by the weird atmosphere of like Symphony of the Night.
Well, yeah, it was the Metal Gear Solid era, like of Konami. Just like they just had something to prove. I don't know what they were on then.
I don't know. I remember just seeing this in a rack in Best Buy and going like, huh, a new Castlevania, and just buying it, and like at a time when I didn't have a lot of money and taking it home and just being like, whoa, this game fucking rules.
Yeah.
Just totally on a lark. And, you know, it's been this sort of genre-defining, generation-defining game. I'm trying to get my, like, kids to play it. And they're like,
What?
I'm like, are you crazy? This game looks amazing. You hear the soundtrack.
It holds up.
Yeah, like, they listen to, like, video game music while they're, like, working on homework and shit. And, like, so Castlevania music comes up in our house all the time by their choice.
When they don't realize.
And I'm like, you should play this game. It's really, really good. But yeah, there's like a billion Metroidvania games out there, and like I think Ori is probably the one that's most beloved that I've never gotten into. I especially want to play Will-o'-the-Wisps because it's got like the more elaborate combat and like really involved platforming.
Wow.
I really love the way the platforming looks in that game, but I kept bouncing off the first one in the first hour.
Oh man, well my friend Josh Foreman was a designer on that game, and I hung out with him a few days ago, and he wants to come on to Huckleberry to hang out. He not only did design, but he's also a visual artist. He does crazy sculptures.
Cool.
Be fun to hang out. I think he would mesh well with the vibe here.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think I should play that in the Metroidvania genre? Have you played anything really good?
I mean, you got Super Metroid, which is a little classic. I think it's been surpassed easily. Ori is probably the most reasonable one, I'd say. If you haven't done it, it'd be kind of fun. If not, I think Symphony of the Night would go hard for everybody. For those who haven't played it, maybe you'd finally like force your kids to kind of sit in and watch.
When my oldest is a little older, I think he is probably going to be spring at the idea of streaming and like hanging out and doing streaming and stuff. I'll stream him, finally force him to play Dark Souls and shit.
Good. Did you play Dead Cells?
Oh yeah, I played a lot of Dead Cells.
Okay.
I jumped back into it recently to check out some of the DLCs and play some of the content that was newer. But kind of done with it for the time being. Dead Cells is it's so focused on its like very unique combat that like I feel like if you don't 100% gel with the kind of high speed combat and very particular movement of it, it's a difficult game to get along with because you have to spend a lot of time with those roguelikes. A bit of a commitment.
That's true. Which I was also saying roguelikes are really, really fun. I love those. They're so non-committal.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I tried, I bounced off of it. I gave it a real run. It's being recommended by LGN. Yeah, I know it's from Koji Igarashi, but I really hate the way the game looks. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say Salt and Sanctuary, but never mind.
Oh wait, no, Salt. I mean, I might try Salt and Sanctuary. Like, I don't love the way that game looks off the bat either, but there's a new one that kind of looks like Salt and Sanctuary that's like on Game Pass called Moon something. Moon Tears.
Something. I remember that one.
Bloody Moon, something like that. Somebody recommended it here the other day, I think. Salt and Sanctuary is pretty good. Okay. I tried to play Deedlit in Wonder Arena or whatever it was called. They had the Record of Lodoss War, like Metroidvania that came out like relatively recently, and I thought that was crazy. It was called like Record of Lodoss War Deedlit in like the Wonder Labyrinth or something like that. And it was on Game Pass. I downloaded it. I played it for a bit. It was the most Japanese game I'd played in a long time. It was like, it had this whole weird thing where like Ikaruga style. Do you know Ikaruga?
Oh, I remember Ikaruga. Yes.
Yeah. So it had like a sort of dual color Ikaruga thing where like you had an orange mode and a blue mode that you would like switch between, and like orange damage would recharge your mana bar if you were in orange mode and you were fighting guys that fought with orange attacks. And then you would like use their attacks or something to like recharge your mana bar to be able to do spells. Axiom Verge 1 and 2, I've played both of them. I like them both a lot. Shout outs to Tom Hatt. Solo, those games are absolutely incredible for being a solo developed game. Tom Hatt's a fucking legend.
Always blows my mind.
Yeah, Axiom Verge 1 I think is like a really good one of those, and then Axiom Verge 2 feels like a very kind of different genre of game, but both of them left me like feeling just totally stunned and dazed, and like a feeling of like total unreality kind of washing over me, because the story of those games is so weird and kind of striking, along with like the looks of the world and the game itself, and just like the atmosphere of the whole thing. I find myself like just feeling totally stunned by like the experience of it. It's very strange. The game makes you feel very strange, and that I think is an endorsement. You ever played Axiom Verge?
I have not.
It is a game that plays with the concept of simulated realities in kind of an interesting way.
I'm okay. I'm listening.
But yeah, it looks like the Axiom Verge 1 looks a lot like Metroid 1.
All right.
Made by a solo developer. It's very, very classic Metroidvania in a lot of ways, way more Metroid than anything else. And it manages to do innovative like movement and power-up stuff within a convincing 8-bit aesthetic. And it has a killer, weird, like electronic soundtrack that is also being produced by the solo developer. And like the whole weird story of it makes you feel weird on the inside after you have played it. Highly recommend.
Maybe that's one to play.
Yeah.
On stream. I'm interested in that.
I could replay Axiom Verge 1. And then Axiom Verge 2 is like less, it's like more of a story thing, and like it's like more of a stealth game than it is like a combat game. There's like not a lot of combat in it. It involves a story that takes place over centuries, and like involves people who are like kind of losing their humanity, and like it sort of sets up a really weird epic world that like expands on Axiom Verge 1. Really strange game.
I have to. I'll have to be.
Chained Echoes was a single guy. I played that. I thought that game was awesome, and I didn't realize that that was a single guy. Damn. Chained Echoes was excellent.
Oh, Axiom Verge. Okay, I'm looking it up now. Ooh,
Whoa, what?
that's wild.
These games have like nice looking assets and stuff like that in them too. There's one guy. Maybe they were like commissioning artists or like.
It's hard to say. In some cases where there's a solo developer, they actually do all the art too. Like,
That's nuts.
that's one of the things that's nuts to me about Axiom Verge is it's like all of the design work, like the concept art and graphics and everything, are being done by the guy who also programmed it, who also wrote the soundtrack. And like nothing about any of that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's insane. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Undertale. The guy did all the music for that. What in the world? One of the best soundtracks I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was one of, like, it was after reading that I was like, maybe I should try to learn music, because it's like, people are multidisciplinary. Like, they learn this stuff, and it's like, it's not impossible, right? So I like, tried to, like, you know, I got some sequencing software. I was looking up, like, what did Tom Happ use, and, like, I was reading an interview with him about it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to learn, like, the basics of music theory, and then open up some of the software and fuck around with it. And I was able to do it for a few weeks, but I just, like, I couldn't stick to it. It felt like, I'm going to stick to drawing.
Oh man, Chained Echoes looks sweet.
Chained Echoes is really sweet. If you think it looks like Chrono Trigger, you'll be pleasantly surprised to find out it also plays a lot like Chrono Trigger. Though the indie games have a thing that, like, does bug me, which is I don't like it when they get really wrapped up in their own story to the point where there's just, like, a ton of back and forth dialogue that is just, like, sitting in on somebody else's D&D game.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like Chained Echoes gets into that territory a little bit. Like, there's some good story ideas, but it's just, like, so in love with its own world and its own characters, I think, to a degree that is, like, beyond where I'm interested.
Yeah, I can tolerate that to an extent, but like I totally get what you mean.
But
it's like it's
I was
the
willing to
least
deal with it
fun
because the
part.
game's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've like dealt with it to play many a good game.
There was a couple of games that I played that were like indie games that I was just like really, really put off the game because of how into its own story it was.
Yep.
30
I'm
minutes
looking at
left on
you,
the giveaway.
Iconoclasts. I wanted to like that game because I thought the art looked awesome, and I fucking hated it.
Hey, can you guys hear me? I
Yeah,
think I fell off for a
sorry.
second. Okay, there we go. I'm back. I'm
Yep.
back. I was, yeah. I was saying. I think Chained Echoes was going for that '90s JRPG vibe, and maybe it's not a good thing that they went too hard on the D&D session story, because I think what made Chrono Trigger so great was how simple, in a way, an easily complicated story got. I remember I mentioned my friend Josh Foreman, who does these sculptures. I linked one of his sculptures in the chat. This thing is 6 feet tall. It's gigantic.
Wait. Oh my god. I just
The
looked over at my
the
other
picture-
screen and I saw what this chin looked like that I just painted. I need to undo it real quick.
Oh, no problem.
Chat.
Yeah, it doesn't do it
Whoa.
justice. It even has the little wander on there with his
Oh my
glowing sword
God.
and the emblem. It's
What
6
the
feet tall.
fuck?
Yeah, it is.
Where
nuts.
is it?
It's in Seattle. Well, Bothell. Yeah, and it's just in one of the rooms of his house, taking up most of the room.
Well, I mean, obviously, it looks. He just like turned a room into his Shadow of the Colossus room.
Yes, he did.
Holy shit!
Yeah, this guy fucking sculpts. He's got a YouTube channel where he shows how he made the whole thing. It took him years.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see if I can find more pictures of it. Yeah, he's the guy I'm trying to get on here. He's interested.
Great, bring him by. Come hang. Have it come hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. I can find the other pictures.
That crazy. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
In person, it's even more crazy. I think this might have more because I just pulled that from my phone. It's not a really good picture. I can. Oh my god! Here's some good picture. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Just gonna dump them.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. You got a view of the emblem on his head here.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
He's even got the through the hole at the top. He's even got the little Garden of Eden. You can barely see it when it's lit the right way.
Oh, it has like fur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
Oh, it has
styled
a
the
guy
hair.
on his head.
Yeah, I'll link his art station to you guys so you can
Dude, that's nuts.
see everything. Little details on there.
Just with the lighting and everything on top of all this, like, I mean, we all want to see the Shadow of the Colossus movie, but like now that I've seen this, I kind of like feel like they've got no excuse to just be like, can you just show this to a movie executive and be like, please, you've been trying to make a video game movie that people are going to buy tickets to. Do Shadow of the Colossus. Like, I don't care
it's so hard to
that
fuck up.
the source material is a little inaccessible for your tiny movie producer brain. Do it.
And it's so hard to fuck up. You don't even need voice acting. Just don't. We just want to see monster climbing
Yeah.
and long strolls on a horse and gecko stabbing.
Yeah, we want to see the main character eat some lizards. We all agree that that's an essential part of the game. And and Scarlett Johansson voices the voice of the Colossus, right?
She's still relevant. I feel like we need to do some new blood.
Oh my god, I just rewatched Lost in Translation the other day while I was working, and I was like, was transported to a different time and place.
Oh my gosh, that was like 2001, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, she's like she's like early 20s or something in that movie. And she's so fucking cool, but also she's putting on like a weird voice, like, because we all know her much better now. You watch the movie and you're like, oh, she's doing like a weird voice this whole movie, but the soundtrack transports you to a different time in history. It's like, you've heard all these songs like a bunch of times, and just hearing them and like just like there's a weird kind of nostalgia moment of like a moment that didn't ever really exist, that just hits like a ton of bricks with that movie. It's crazy. And you're like, oh wait,
man.
yeah, she did become famous for a reason.
I haven't watched in a good 10 or 15 years. I might give it a shot. Also, interesting movie for them to have greenlit. The whole concept behind it. It's not like a normal. It's a very interesting concept.
Nepo Baby. Low budget movie from the loins of a famous director.
Yeah.
To Sofia Coppola.
Loins.
Yeah, the loins were involved.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah. Talking about Hollywood, baby.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, wasn't that Sofia Coppola's big breakout or whatever? That movie as a director.
I don't know. Who did it? So it was 2003, by the way, not 2001.
Yeah, my well of movie nonsense runs deep for no reason. I'm not that big into films. I've never been to I feel like one of these days I should go to a film festival. Have you ever been to a film festival?
Let's do Cannes.
Cannes.
Let's go to France. Never been to France. Let's go.
Yeah, you and me. We're gonna be the two fanciest people at Cannes.
Well, let's dress as fancy as we possibly can with the medieval not cape thing.
Yeah,
we were talking about earlier.
I'll bring my dress gorget.
Finally, my frock coat.
I will have my finest surcoat pressed by my many servants.
I will wear my powdered cat.
Your powdered cat?
Can't afford the wig, man. It's expensive.
Couldn't afford to get the hair off the cat, so I just brought the whole thing. Sofia Coppola did Virgin Suicides before that. It's good to know. I haven't seen that one. But yeah, thinking about that movie though while I was watching it, I was thinking like, damn, this movie looks like it cost like the entire budget was getting Bill Murray to show up. Like Scarlett had only been in a couple of movies at that point, I think. I know she was in Ghost World, a weird indie comic book adaptation with Steve Buscemi, and I think it was her first movie. She looked like a teenager in it. It was like the first time I saw her, I was like, because that was like one of the only. I think I was one of the only people that was like, oh, Ghost World. They're adapting that weird indie comic book I read, and then yeah, so it was like Bill Murray, and then they film almost the entire movie inside of a hotel, which is like the way that you film an indie film when you have like zero budget. Is you rent a suite and you film the whole thing over a weekend with your friends, and it's like it is like literally half a step up from that. Like
it's a bottle episode, the movie.
Yeah, it is, and so I'm like, damn, what kind of stories can you tell inside of a hotel? What kind of good excuses can you tell a really compelling story from inside of a hotel suite with? Like, what else is available? Like, because, I mean, if you were to go to somebody like who funded movies, like a film producer, you'd be like, I have Bill Murray lined up and a hotel suite. And if this loses cash, my dad will cover it. You know?
Oh, that's the
like,
dream,
how did this movie get made? I think
call.
that's the formula. I think that'd do it. And that makes me think I'm never gonna make a film. I'd never be able to make a pitch that good.
Well, you just gotta be friends with Bill Murray, or someone like Bill Murray. Well, I mean,
Bill Murray, if you're listening, I will be friends with you. I know you've had some.
I guess.
I know you've been kind of soft canceled or whatever, but I'll stand up for you or whatever. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
Maybe I won't. I haven't.
Yeah,
really
I didn't
looked into
follow
it.
the thing. Yeah. I don't know if I want to follow the thing.
Yeah, I don't really want to find out. Sorry, Bill Murray. The deal's off the table. I won't be friends with you.
No, he needs
Sorry.
this.
Yeah,
Finally,
first
he's like,
Kanye
yes,
West
I
and now
finally
Bill
have a-
Murray have been completely canceled by me on this show.
I remember thinking specifically, like, if anything comes out about Bill Murray or Tom Hanks, I'm just gonna flip a table, and then I haven't flipped the table.
Yeah,
yet.
I mean Bill Murray, some sex stuff probably, and then Tom Hanks 5G. So. Sorry.
Oh man, no, they went pretty hard on Tom Hanks. They went farther than 5G, but it was thankfully clearly Nutter Butter stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, as far as you know, I mean, they want you to think that
that's
stuff's
true.
so crazy.
Fuck.
They want you
Soros
to believe
wins again.
that it is crazy to think that Tom Hanks would drink the blood of children in order to stay young. I don't know if you've seen Tom Hanks recently. The children blood's not working.
What are you guys talking? I actually.
All the while, there's literally this guy who's like 47 years old who's like taking his son's blood to stay young. Like
It-
that's. You heard about that guy?
Well, yeah. But no, they're like also isn't there like
Reese's
his
agreeing.
dad also? They're like all three of them are transferring blood between him.
I just thought it was the guy and his son, but I mean the son's consenting, and like
Yeah.
I mean it's an interesting experiment, to find out what's working because he's
they-
not just
they-
doing the blood.
It doesn't do anything. Turns out.
I don't know.
I thought they found out it actually having a blood boy actually doesn't work.
I have no clue.
Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg.
It's not not my field of expertise, unfortunately. I believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Neil, how much do you know about what's that stuff called from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Bat Town?
The fake drug that they have in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It comes from the adrenal gland of a terrified child.
Oh yeah, adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome, that's the one. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
weird to call you
adrenochrome.
Neil.
So apparently, like there's all these stories around the last election where, it was like people would show up to their local church on Sunday and their preacher would be like, "Hey, everyone wants to be a good person, like Tom Hanks," and then like afterwards somebody would come up to him and be like, "Don't you dare say that again. Tom Hanks is drinking the blood of children." Like, and they're like, "Excuse me, what's going on?" Like, it's like it became this major political point that like if you don't believe that Tom Hanks is like getting high and trying to reverse his aging by like drinking the blood of children, then like you are you're on the wrong side of politics.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen bits and pieces of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like
It's like,
major
man.
political wedge issue whether or not Tom Hanks was drinking children's blood.
It's like back in my day, guys, like we knew that everything on 4chan was like not real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's how I remember. Like okay, there was a time. I must admit, back in about
They had a
2008,
phrase for it, but
2009.
I'm not sure I want to repeat that phrase on stream.
No, don't.
Oh, Zuzuki's got a question about color variation.
Sure.
Yeah, let's art. Let's do art.
Let's talk about art instead of talking about fortune.
I guess.
Thank you.
That sounds like a good idea.
Good idea. Yeah, like okay, color variation. Like there's all sorts of weird little colors in here, right? We got some oranges, we got some purples. What is this? Is this like a really pale orange? This is up on the yellow side of things. They're all in there, right? So
gang.
what I was doing early on was I was fucking with the colors, right? So I've got this gradient map. The gradient map is throwing some colors in there. And more than colors, it's just kind of throwing temperatures in there. You got some warms in here, some cools in the shadow. Then everything in the highlights all pale. And then we've got this hard light, and this is just like I was actually using a brush that was adding in random color variation. On top of the fact that it's mixing with the gradient map, we're getting all kinds of crazy pearlescent color. So the goal here with what I was doing with this brush is I wanted this kind of pearlescent rainbowy sheen, because once I'm going to start sampling from that, I can sample all these other little bits. And so I laid on top of that this like soft light gradient map that is like adding warm like oranges throughout the whole thing, and also kind of smashing that value range of like the highlights and shadows, kind of compressing them down into a smaller middle range. And inside here I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this is not a good painting, but what it is it's full of interesting moments. And so there's these oranges in here, these purples, these bits of yellow. It kind of looks like a bruise almost. But I know that if I were to take the saturated color moments from these transitions and sort of get them in the right places where it transitions from shadow to highlight, and I were to like get the right highlight colors where it gets brightest in the image and push that stuff around, that all these colors are going to add up into something that feels colorful and subtle and pearlescent and interesting while not looking like a horrible bruise, because all of the colors are going to kind of find a place inside the value hierarchy. See, I've got this dark orange here that has kind of taken over the shadows under the neck, and I've brought it out under the collarbone here. And then I'm kind of transitioning down into like a cooler color, some of these purple tones, and I'm trying to figure out how do the purples go into the oranges over here. And so it's really not a matter of me having like a really amazing tight process on like what I'm doing and how I'm getting there, but more I'm trying to like make a mess so that I can sift through the pieces of that mess and go, ooh, well, wouldn't it be cool if this was a little bit more over here and this was a little bit more over here? And I'm finding things in these like random bits of stuff that are being collected in the messy portions of this process. And that's getting me to like where I'm getting all these interesting color variations. And so like, it would be nice if I were so good that I could just plan out where all these colors are going to be and just knock them in. But the next best thing to being that good is making it happen without knowing how it's happening 100%. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just, I'm fucking around and I'm keeping an open mind. And that is producing the results you see. And I'm pretty happy with them. I really like when I do this. I know that I can always get a sense on when the stuff that I have, I've got all the pieces necessary to make something that feels good. And I get the sense that other people looking at it aren't always seeing the same thing I'm seeing. So I kind of always wonder like what it would look like if somebody else were to pick up one of my works in progress and run with it themselves. If they see something interesting in it, or maybe they would see something different than I see that's also interesting in a different way. Or if they would just be lost and they would hate it and they would peel it all back and they would try to make something else in a way that made sense to them.
That would be a fun experiment.
Yeah. Hand off, do it 2 dailies at the same time, and then at 1 hour, hand them off to each other and just be like, all right, honestly, you finish this now.
Yeah.
If you're interested in doing that
imagine,
sometime.
Yeah, the circle, like 5 people just doing the same study and not showing it to each other, and then we're just like
passing it around every 20 minutes. You have to pass your study to the left.
Now here's my question: do they get the reference too?
Yes, it's all the same reference.
Oh, okay.
No, the same thing.
No, I was okay. All right, okay.
Or maybe what if all that just cancels each other out and everybody
and it just
ends
looks
up the same
shittier.
thing?
But it would sort of reveal, like, hey, if somebody made some interesting choices early on, like, how does that get carried forward? Or honestly, I think, like, having a singular voice of the whole process is going to create a better overall product.
I'm down for it.
I would think it'd be more interesting with just 2 people, where you just, like, have to have 2 people finish each other's studies. Rather than like people having to do a round robin that involves like a lot of people.
Yeah, that turns into like almost a game of telephone.
Yeah, because you're gonna end up with 5 pieces that have all been worked on by 5 people. But I think it would be most interesting if you had 2 pieces that were like one was started and one was they were started by one person and finished by the other.
What I had in mind is that what I had in mind is that, for example, there are 5 people. And like 2 hours, everybody doing the same study for 2 hours, and 1 hour in, we all just like switch it to another person. So technically, it still gets done by 2 people, but in that case, we just have more stuff to look at, more stuff to analyze.
Yeah.
Oh, heads up, that Freaky Ice won the giveaway.
Ooh, wait, Freaky Ice, huh? Let me pull up the giveaway so we can see their name. I'll DM them right now. It is in the Friday giveaway channel. Freaky Ice. Congratulations. Congrats. I will send you your prize. Just let me know your mailing address, blood type, real name, social security number, email, and phone. And I'll get that out to you right away. But yeah, I always end up needing like way more information than people want to volunteer up front because I have to like getting them a package requires like, especially internationally, like requires like usually like phone number, real name, you know, email contact, as well as like their address and stuff. And they're always like, because like there's been a couple times where I'm just like having to send it out and I don't want to keep bugging them. And so I just send it out to like their username is on the package. And I just imagine that, you know, they're sitting around and their mom is going to be like, who's Dragon Master? Like, oh, Mom, that's me. That's for me.
Oh man, well, I mean, it may not always work out. I once had a message sent to me or a package sent to me at the wrong or my old name, and I had to go through a whole spiel explaining the situation, and the lady was like very dubious about it and almost didn't give me the package.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, and this was in Washington, so I don't know how other countries work, but yeah, get that real name if you can.
Yeah. They're like, they're like, trams? What's a trams person? You're like, no, it's a...
Oh god.
Fuck.
This is like in fucking Rain Man. Is he
like,
artistic?
you watch the news, it's on the news all the time. And fuck.
Yeah. On the same thing, to that same token, I think you can get away with a lot of shit just saying that you're trans. Like if you're underage and you just take your friend's like ID, I'm not recommending this.
Okay.
I'm not recommending this. Like
You know
who's
the
gonna
amount of
argue? They're not gonna...
crimes you can commit as a trans?
like they're not gonna argue if you're a guy and you just take a girl's ID and like don't listen to me.
Oh man.
Okay, new subject. What's your favorite
New
color?
subject. Trans crimes.
My favorite color is the Emperor.
The Emperor. Which Emperor? Like of the new groove or
The
of
God Emperor.
Warhammer?
Man.
Warhammer.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
What do you
I'm
take
sorry.
me for? Some sort of heretic?
Oh my god. I had a friend who loved The Emperor's New Groove and she made me sit down and watch it with her. And I
Made you?
Yeah, but like it was like but it was like in the 2020s. It was like not 2020s. It was like in the 20 teens. So it was like I was like all this humor is just like flashing me back to the 90s. It's like David Spade, you know? Like
I know.
doing
I
like the
miss him.
most
What happened to
90s
him?
David Spade routine of all time. And it's just like it, you know, compared to like Robin Williams is the genie, not the same. Not the same. I'm sorry, Emperor's New Groove people. Doesn't hold up. Does not hold up.
remember
I can't
being-
argue because I watched it when this was 1999 when it came out, so
Oh.
I was 11.
Oh boy.
So I think it's hilarious, but I've been tainted.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia.
Oh man, I would have been like, you know, like I forget what age, but like
Glint in
younger
your
than you,
father's
Ash.
eye.
Yeah, and I was like really, really excited about it, and I remember like hating it. I think The Emperor's New Groove was the first thing I was looking forward to, and then was disappointed by in my
That's
entire
so
life.
sad. What in the world?
Emperor's New Groove
It was
your
everything
first
I
heartbreak.
wanted. It was my favorite Disney movie, if not like top 2 or 3. Still is. Now I have to rewatch. It's gonna ruin it for me.
Don't rewatch it.
I don't-
It's fine in your
I
memory.
don't-
It's just
I
keep
don't
it
know
locked
how
away safe.
can you. I don't
It's
know
like-
how can you top the Lion King, honestly.
I
feel
remember
like
as a kid,
Lion
I
King-
hated The Lion King.
Really?
Why?
It's because my sister liked it, and I couldn't like what she
Oh, okay,
liked.
makes sense.
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah.
personal. Mm.
Yeah, it was personal.
It's not objective. Gotcha. Okay.
But it's a good
You're not
movie. It's a
using
good
logic
movie.
and reason.
No,
Yes.
never. Me? Have you met me?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't roll that R
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah,
How
no,
dare
we invite you on here for the trills and nothing more. Okay, and check this out, dude. Check this out. What are we checking out next?
Check it out. Oh, Pete, How big are you on Warhammer 40k?
I like when they make the memes where Alex Jones is a space marine.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna gag. I didn't. What? I've not
Those
seen this.
Chicks.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm gonna choke on my own spit. That was hilarious. What? Can I get a link?
Somebody
Destroy
link
the
Ash to
child.
these memes. These are the best. This is the best part of Warhammer 40k. Swear to God.
The reason why I'm asking is that apparently there is a new TV show about Warhammer 40k.
The Henry Cavill one.
No. It's
Oh.
animated one.
Oh.
It's called. But you know, it's like super high quality, like Blizzard cinematic type of deal.
Really? Oh,
Okay.
not the. Are you talking about the Astartes, the indie one?
No.
made a real
I'm
one?
talking about. I'm talking about the official one because Astartes
Nah.
was a fan passion project,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this one is called Pariah Nexus.
Yeah, I just tried to watch it yesterday. I'm curious to see what you think, Pete.
Well, you know, Ash, you've also tried to watch Nocturne, and your initial.
Okay,
let's
we're
say-
going here. We're going here. Okay, let's do it. I had just gotten back from 37-hour trip from Europe. And my first thing, I had been waiting. I was not going to miss out on Nocturne. So I watched all episodes while in a stupor. And I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah.
You're like,
And then
I
I
was
was like,
on
well, this-
a mountain of pain pills, and I thought Nocturne was incredible. The part where Victor stepped out of the television and told me that he was proud of me personally, that was incredible. that was the best part.
Yeah. He put on the bandana, and even then I was like, these characters don't really seem to get along with each other very well. They're not meshing. Even then I could tell a little bit something was off.
Zero chemistry, zero storytelling, zero everything.
Jesus. I did turn it off after 10 seconds. I was
It's
just,
fine.
I'm
just
sure
like
it's fine. I get like that with a lot of Netflix stuff. Though,
compared
I
to most
watched it
anime,
all.
it's
I
okay.
watched it all. No, it isn't.
it's not-
Yeah, have you seen most anime? It's bad. It's real bad.
Oh, most
I
anime's
didn't.
bad.
I didn't. I consider myself a fine connoisseur of the
Exactly.
top shelf anime. Let's say.
Compared to the good stuff, it's middling. It felt rushed. It felt like there was a writer's strike and they changed writers midway through writing it, which is what happened.
They
see,
were still
I'm so-
trying to produce it during the writer's strike.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my
Wait,
God, they
wait,
were trying to
what?
do Deadpool 3 during the writer's strike. Can you imagine what's going to come out the other end of that shit?
Oh god.
We don't even get Ryan Reynolds for it.
If
And
I
Hugh
were Ryan
Jackman
Reynolds,
as well.
I would walk off set if they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna try to do this without the writers." He'd be like, "My face is on this. My face is fucking attached to this movie." You take that fucking
Hey.
bag. You're gonna try to write bad. You,
Yeah.
the executive producer, is gonna try to write jokes for Deadpool. How about just fucking kill me now? Just kill me here. It'll be less painful than what's gonna happen on the other end of this for my career.
Here's a hot take. Deadpool in itself is a horrible character for a movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's like
That I said it.
sure.
No, because check this out. If you're willing to break the fourth wall and it's like such a big work for everybody, how about you just take a director of the movie by the scruff and pull him into the shot and make him wave his hand? Why not? It's all jokes and funny cinema.
I'm interested. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go. Why not?
But it's like, you know, okay, yeah, it's like a comic book character spouting dated memes. That's fine. You know, it's not for me. But could you imagine, like, if they tried to do that during a writer's strike? Like,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
no.
you
It
think
has to
it's
be
you
done
think
carefully.
maybe Deadpool is a 4 out of 10? Yeah, during a writer's strike, it's a 2 out of 10. It's the sort of thing that some people will never come back from.
I didn't really like. Okay, so I watched the first Deadpool while I was very not sober, and I did not like it.
Uh-huh.
But the second one, I found I adored it. I thought the second one was really fun.
Yeah, that's
Am I the
fine.
only one here?
No, I thought both of them are all right. I don't really have strong feelings
mean-
about comic book movies.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's like
It is what it is, right?
It
I
is
have
what it is.
one
I'm not
strong
gonna say
feeling.
more.
I have one strong feeling about comic book movies, and I've had this feeling since we lost Heath Ledger. I want my Adam West Batman movie, and I want it soon.
Oh,
Who's Adam
I'm
West?
tired of trying to take this shit seriously. I want us to go full fourth dimension breaking, just madness. We're talking about the '60s Batman, where they turn the camera and all of a sudden they're just walking up the side of a building. Batman.
I'm in.
Adam West is like from
He's
that.
not- we lost him,
show.
Adam West
Adam
was
West
like a
was the
fat
guy
old
who-
guy that played Batman. But he was fat and old when he was playing in the 1970s when he was playing Batman.
Was it the '70s? Okay.
Oh,
But
well,
yeah,
Photoshop
but
photo.
they were aware of it though. I think that's
when
like
he had weird white eyebrows, right?
But the chick who played Catwoman was very hot, and those 1970s cat suits, quite the
Oh.
bit of costuming. That was, they knew what they were doing. Oh my God! How much of this shading did I just lose? Fuck.
How? What? Oh wait, I have to.
Oh, what?
What did you do?
Oh, I definitely lost all the hair. But what else did I lose?
That sounds concerning.
Yeah.
Well, it still looks fabulous.
Thank you. I think all the improvements I did on the face and the hair are all gone. I actually stylized the face for once, and now I'm getting shit on. I thought the auto recovery was better than that.
Sometimes it's great and sometimes it doesn't do jack. It just like forgets. In my experience.
Is there an auto recovery? Can I make settings to make this pain never happen ever again? If anybody in chat can say like what I would take to like make sure that this doesn't happen to me ever again, that would be great. Because I would love for it to auto recover more often. Crickets, yeah, nothing.
Oh, I spaced out. Yeah, you can do it.
Is there a way to set it?
To recover more often?
Yeah, recover more often.
Did. I thought it did. Let me check. It might be a newer version. Did you ever bump up to 2023?
I was having problems. You can set
Yeah,
the
me too.
auto save interval to be smaller. That's what I thought. It's got to be in here somewhere, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, autosave recovery information every 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
Is that
It's under file handling,
file handling?
which mine is turned off for some reason. Okay.
I'm setting it to 5 minutes.
You're just that good.
So it's got to be 10 minutes. The maximum I could have lost is 10 minutes, but it feels like more. Because like the jawline's different. Hair's different. It must have been just 10 minutes that I lost, but I think I lost the full 10 minutes. Yeah, because I reshaped the face a little bit. I brought the shadow out further. I brought this hairline out a little further.
Well, this 10 minutes will turn out even better than the last one.
Yeah, maybe.
How are you liking the color dynamics?
I turned them off for my rendering brush,
Okay.
but they did result in that kind of pearlescent effect that I was looking for inside the glazing stage.
Yeah, that's wild for me because I don't. I mean, I would definitely use them for glazing, I suppose, but like, I really love using them with rendering. It really has some. It just carries into the values so well. It's part of the. For me, it's part of the point.
Yeah, there's something about like I can't seem to figure out what combination of two colors I need to get what I want to be happening.
So what I normally do is I generally keep the colors very similar, like my foreground and background color, at least in value. But I only I'll vary them. I'll push the background color to something a little more intense for the areas that I want to make crazier, but for the most part, it's in a similar range. And I'm constantly, part of the reason I say I lay down a smattering of wacky colors at the very beginning is I am constantly color picking and flipping. Like, it's all the time. So it's really just dependent on, like, oh, this shape, I want the colors to be kind of condensed together. Here, I want more variety. And it's not uniform throughout the rendering process. Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I gotta give that a shot and like bring it in at an earlier stage maybe or something. Do it like when I'm messing with the values. Just have a bunch of color variation, like bunch of like color jitter on there, so that I'm getting tons of random colors randomly kind of interjected while I'm working on values.
Exactly. You might want to try sans glazing. Just going for it.
Yeah.
Going for color out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to like do more experiments with stuff, and so color out of the gate would definitely be an experiment for me.
Yes, join the dark side.
I'm feeling so demotivated.
Do another part. Do something different.
It's fine. I mean, it's just I
Pass it to me.
was getting really close to being done, and like I'm over on the time I was intending to spend on it. But it's like it's fine. I'm gonna bank a few extra hours on here and chill, and maybe I just need to get a drink of water. I think I might just need a drink of water.
That's it.
I'm gonna go fill a cup with some tears really fast, and then maybe that's what I need.
It's super weird. It's October and it's like hot as crap over here. I'm actually gonna.
Random, but are you on Mac or PC? How dare you? How dare you ask me that question?
It's super cold in here.
BRB. I'm opening a window.
I never liked the Mac versus PC question because it's just a trick to get people to impose their opinion on you, regardless of what side of the debate you're on. I've used both. They're both fucking trash. The problem here is Photoshop. My version of CS6 would never crash that often, and when it did crash, it recovered very well. And the level of crashes that I'm getting now that I've upgraded to CC is unbelievable. And like the problem I always had with Macs was the whole thing would crash a lot. Like everything would shut down really bad. And on PCs, it's like, as long as you're using old software, it seems to work pretty well. It's like a lot of the newer, more updated software that just like intermittently crashes. But the whole operating system itself is, I feel, largely more stable. I know Mac people love to like believe that they're somehow using superior hardware that is so infallible because it costs twice as much or whatever, but I've never seen it work that way.
Photoshop, everybody. Industry standard.
Industry standard, yeah. For now, not for long, I don't think. In 10 years, I don't believe that Photoshop is going to be that widely used. I think.
What do you think is gonna?
I think it's probably going to fragment because, like, you know, Krita is already being like a free painting program is already better. It's not better. It's already like able to do most of what Photoshop can do just fine. And then CSP, I think, is a better painting program. I think that Affinity Photo is a better photo program. And like everything else that's out there is like available for either a one-time purchase or for free. So the idea that you're going to use subscription for a program that's like not as good as their competitors at anything, just due to momentum, is a plan that only works for so long. They need to crack the nut on something soon, otherwise the whole thing's going to go down the drain. Like,
I never really understood the subscription-based model in anything, because that would basically subject you to using that one thing that you're paying for.
It's
like
because
always.
people were more likely to crack it, and it seems easier to manage, especially if you only need it for like a small project or a class or something. It's more manageable to pay for than the full suite or the full version of
well,
the
they've
product.
also got me on this thing where I need like InDesign or what's the motion graphics one again? Fuck. the motion graphics Adobe
After
software.
Effects?
After Effects.
After
Where I need
Premiere?
it for like one thing, and I go, fuck it, I'll just spend the $30. I'll subscribe for a month, and then for whatever reason I won't unsubscribe, and I'll figure it out
You
6
forget.
months later, and
Yep.
they'll have gotten like hundreds of dollars out of me for me to do like a single project, and I go, fuck.
That's why they do it. Oh shit! Thanks for reminding me. I had to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
A few things.
Exactly.
This is your daily reminder to unsubscribe to all your unused Adobe
Yeah, yeah.
software.
Exactly. As opposed to that, just like spend what, $60 or hell, even $100. But
Yeah.
that's like you got it always, and it
Every
doesn't
once in a
suck
while,
more
I
money
need
out of you.
Every once in a while I need a little bit of motion graphics work, and I need to find something that works for motion graphics that's a good After Effects replacement. I was using Premiere Rush to deal with like very, very minor video needs, and now I've been turned on to DaVinci Resolve, and it's just like there is literally no reason to use Adobe software for anything these days, just because there are so many good free options for lighter weight things, which is what most people need it for. The number of people that actually need like full-on Adobe licenses for like big boy ongoing projects and ongoing engagements like is so small that there's no way the company's going to be able to stay in business. Like they have to be making a lot of their money off of like hobbyists and shit, and all the hobbyists are getting better and better options all the time, and those options are slowly encroaching into professional spaces. It's the same thing that's happening with like Maya and Blender. It's like Blender just keeps getting better and better and better, and it's free, and like makes you really wonder why anyone buys a Maya license, especially for the amount of money they want to charge.
Yeah, they're both shooting themselves in the foot. I don't understand it. Like, what do they have a game plan? Are they paying attention? Like, I counted. I don't know the exact number, but Adobe has, I think, 90 to 92, maybe 93 different apps for their, like, I remember 10 years ago there was like 7. Like, and who's using all this shit?
No, they've always had a million. I mean, you know, like there was always like a bunch of
They've
weird.
always had that many?
Yeah, they've always had a million random ones. It's like there are so many web development apps that like no one would ever use ever again, that used to exist on in the Adobe suite. Like fucking, was it Lightwave? Like there was so much
They
that
don't.
had to
They're
do
not
with like
Lightwave.
web.
Lightwave was somewhere else.
They-
Lightwave was trash.
There were so many like web developer like ways of making HTML, like layers of HTML graphics stuff that was Adobe software.
Perhaps it's because of the studio workspace. It's like there are certain people who are veterans of the industry, and they just like teaching everybody how to work in Maya, for example. That's why Maya stays
I mean,
the industry
yeah, but
standard for so long.
more and more people are coming in with Blender experience. That's just gonna be what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm one of those old people. I'm like, please, I don't want to have to learn something new. I'll just want to like with Photoshop, get it in Gear Guys, but that's me. That's not most people.
Yeah, part of the reason I have like a version of a modern version of Photoshop on here is because like I'm planning on making some tutorials and stuff, and I need to have the interface make sense for what I'm using. Because if I'm using like a version of CS6, people are gonna wonder like why all of my buttons look different, why things are in different places.
Yeah, that makes. Oh, that's a good excuse.
And so it's like if I'm going to try to like
Point.
get people to use software, I need to like use software that people can actually use and buy, because Adobe being Adobe doesn't allow you to buy the software I actually prefer, because it's deprecated. Like, and the only reason I have that is because they stopped allowing me to authenticate my real CS2 license. You know, I used CS2 for ages, and I bought it like back when I was in college, and it was supposed to be a lifetime license. And then one day they're like, I got a new PC, and they're like, yeah, sorry, you need to authenticate that to use it. And then they
Sounds
told
like
me,
a
oh yeah,
lawsuit.
we shut down the authentication servers. I'm like, what? Like, the software is just fully bricked. And I'm like, okay.
That seems illegal.
It's not. I mean, it's got to be in their TOS that they're allowed to do that. And so that's going to happen someday in the not too distant future with CS6. And so part of the reason I'm using this is to like, I'm trying to figure out what I can replace CS6 with, because I know it's going to brick at some point in the not too distant future. They
Sure,
will
but at the same
disallow it.
time, TOS and contracts do not the law make. If it's unreasonable, and that seems unreasonable to me. I
Oh,
mean,
that-
obviously, I wouldn't want to be the one to be spearheading a movement against Adobe.
Oh, that you're
but, like,
legitimate lifetime licenses. But this is like a thing I see on YouTube all the time. Like, there's a lot of companies that just like they sell lifetime licenses, and then they realize, hey, acquiring new customers is expensive. We want to keep getting money out of our existing customers.
and they don't get any backlash for that. That seems ridiculous to me.
You get a little
I
bit of
mean,
backlash.
extremely ridiculous.
But
Eh.
I think Adobe's just gonna
Not really.
slowly lose relevancy in the professional world as they fail to serve a professional market. Their biggest play to stay in the mix these days is AI, a thing that largely professional
pet.
creative people hate. So
And their current serving isn't too great.
and they're doing a shit job of it, which is the double whammy.
Yeah.
Doing
Can't they just, if they could just consolidate some of those programs together, get Fresco in with Photoshop, for example.
I tried Fresco. I hated it. I thought it was the worst.
I haven't actually tried it. I've heard good things, but it was bad.
Well, the problem was like they're like I was like, how do you change the opacity on the brush? And they're like, we moved opacity from being a property of the brush to a property of the color. I'm like, what? They're like, here, it's over here. It's like part of the pixel information instead of part of the brush information. So I was like, oh, you can't glaze in. I can't choose to glaze in stuff lighter. I have to pick a color that's semi-transparent. So you can't be like, I want this color, but I want it to glaze it in 10%. They're like,
that's
you know, you can't choose the color, like, and then like if you are on a layer and like
I can't.
then like all of these are going to be coming in at whatever percent they are here if you sample them, because it's a property of the color and not a property of the brush. I'm like,
I can't tell if that's a terrible idea or just old dog do tricks kind of thing.
I cannot figure out how anyone would ever use that software under those circumstances. It seemed so impossibly crazy to me. I instantly uninstalled it. I was like,
Well,
that's the most fucked thing I think I've ever seen.
It's so that's built into like the hardware of my brain and how to use these programs. But like if I were a new artist, I could see myself accepting it.
Yeah, but like you would look at every art tutorial in the world and you'd be like, how come they're able to change the opacity on their brush? Why doesn't that seem
That's
weird
true.
that every single program does that and that it makes sense to everyone?
Right.
And I'm over here
I
and
mean-
everything seems like 1,000 times harder.
Well, then we have ZBrush sitting in the corner, like waving its little hand. Hi.
Maybe just use
some
MS
get away with it.
So I'm just gonna use MS Paint, I think.
I mean, what's his name? Ringo Starr does. It's going well for him.
I saw somebody on Twitter the other day who's doing like professional looking anime art, and they do it all in MS Paint apparently.
Oh yeah, there's
It's-
always one of those in there.
It's like, I mean, oh, man.
I think I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call this one done. I'm pretty happy with it
Yeah, sure,
overall.
it's
It looks
wonderful.
the face looks a little bit like Art Jeremy.
Which is good. Archim's rad.
So stylized. I made the face more anime. I did it, guys. I caricaturized the face a little bit.
I like
yeah.
the neck.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I
You
forgot
went
to
with the
add
long
the.
neck
I forgot
after
to
all.
add the neck piece. Shit. Thanks for reminding me.
It looks good to me, Pete. I don't
Huh?
know why you're being so hard on yourself. It looks good to me, Pete. I don't know why you're being so hard on yourself.
same way you
I'm
and
just.
I are
It's
hard
just
on
lingering
yourself.
frustration from that Photoshop crash. I'm pretty happy with it. It's gotten really hot in this room.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
I'm really hot and like I am thirsty and I'm frustrated from a Photoshop crash and and my tummy hurts.
You soon gonna become
My beard
dehydrated.
hurts.
I like neck.
I-
Said
you-
True Omen 2023. That's right. Who doesn't like a good neck, right?
You know, Pete. If I were you and
Yeah.
I was looking at that, and I'm just looking at all the darker values on the face, like in the eyes and in the corner of the eyes and on the top lip, you know, and I'm just, oh my god, I just want to pick the black color and fill out those zones, you know.
Too bad.
Like the nostrils.
Too bad.
Exactly.
Too bad. I want it like
I-
that. I want it like that.
Maybe
I know.
it's not-
I know how you want it. It's just that it's weird how you perceive it that way, and I'm like.
Oh no! I
it
perceive
just
it
won't
that
fit.
it's wrong.
The correct
I just
way.
want it wrong. Oh, the wife's coming in with the clutch, cool glass of water. Thank you, wife.
That's her name, wife.
W wife.
Man, I need that. She calls me husband also, so it's fair.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We never
but yeah,
developed
maybe-
pet
maybe-
names for each other, ever in our relationship. Which
I don't think I ever have with anyone I've dated ever. So
yeah, I always
can't
thought
blame you.
pet names was a little strange. Personally, hey, no shade. You know, if it's your relationship, it's fine. I just every time I watch TV, reality TV, everyone's always calling each other babe. I don't know, it cracks me up. Babe.
Even babe
Babe.
sounds weird. It's a weird word to pick. Like that's this default, really.
Babe is the word of our era for like pet names, and it has never sounded right to me, and it makes me think of reality TV, of just
Thank
like,
you.
It just
Wait,
makes me
I've
think
got-
of reality TV people passively aggressively shouting across their like ugly McMansion at each other.
You
know what I
what it
mean?
makes me think of? Yeah, it does. And I've got the perfect representation of that. Have you seen Hot Rod? Will Arnett, Babe No Babe?
No.
In the chat. It is. Oh my gosh.
How about
Also, Hot Rod
how
is
about
hilarious.
how about Honey? What's wrong with Honey?
Honey's
Is
fine.
it okay to
I'm
call
just
people Honey?
I'm saying there's a moment in our culture right now in America where couples that call each other babe, I feel like they're always on the rocks. Sorry guys. Again, not if this is your relationship, don't consider this judgment towards you, but that's just my immediate read every time whenever anybody says babe. It's never with affection. It's always babe. Babe, why'd you leave my protein
It's
shake
concern.
out? You know this
Yeah.
needs to be in the fridge.
I feel like it was there for longer. I feel like it was like almost decades by now.
I want to know why it's okay to call. Yeah, it could be. So I want to know why it's okay to call like someone babe, like is like baby. That's weird, and daddy's also considered okay. That's weird, but like
No,
those
it's
are
not.
accepted.
If
But
you're at a
someone
restaurant
mommy, and
and
it's just really not cool.
Wait, what was
I
that's
had,
cool?
uh,
What?
I had an ex who said that, and there are a whole bunch of mental problems behind pet callings.
Wait, what? Which one?
At the daddy one.
Oh, yeah.
At
Well,
least
that's
my observation.
I don't feel like if you were at a restaurant and it'd be like, okay, Daddy, what are you ordering? Is like you could be like,
Jeez.
you
Well, I think it's
heard
more
that
of a
from another
personal
table,
thing.
you'd be like, yo.
Yeah, I guess you could call someone babe at a restaurant, which is still weird to me.
Yeah. No, this is
But
in
then
public.
if you have like,
Babe is happening in public settings all the time.
but like, okay, but like, daddy happens in private.
Yes.
But mommy's just fucking off the charts weird, no
That's-
matter where.
Yeah, that's weird.
100%.
Yeah, if if you're at a fucking Bennigan's and you hear over the next table, what are you gonna get the chicken strips again, mommy? They'd be like, yo,
Oh,
what is happening in here?
Oh my god.
you're contemplating stuff in your head.
They still have
You're just
Bennigan's,
like,
right?
okay, so is that an actual son or is that something else?
Oh man.
Mon
Out of
chéri.
curiosity, like when I'm not here, do these conversations go in the streets?
I'm thinking, oh wait, okay, so maybe not Bennigan's. How about B-Dubs? You're at B-Dubs. You're watching the game. You've just ordered like a double-sized basket of boneless wings. And you hear somebody over in the next table over being like, what kind of sauces do you want, mommy? You're going to be like, yo. Like,
leaving.
what's
You're
happening? What did I walk in on?
This is personal. Oh man, I teared up though from the chicken wings one. Oh.
Yeah. B-Dubs is held up. I feel like from back in the days when Bennigan's had televisions, commercials on television, their Buffalo Wild Wings existed, and nowadays B-Dubs remains a cultural force.
Oh my gosh, BW, wait, BW, what?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay,
Yeah, B-dubs.
You said that. I've never been to one. I don't even know if they have them over here. Do they on the West Coast?
They've got. I'm sure they do. You can probably Google Map it. Let me know how many miles is it from where you are to the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, but you got to tell me how many miles it is between you and the nearest In-N-Out.
In-N-Out? Oh, far, not close.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But I don't think Buffalo Wild Wings is regional.
Let me find out. Let's find out.
All right, I'm calling this now. The necklace is looking fine.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they are everywhere. Yeah. How have I never been to one?
Because it's like a place where you go for boneless chicken wings and sports. And if you don't strike me as the kind of person that reaches out for sports and boneless chicken wings as your first line of attack when it comes to socializing.
That's unfortunately true.
If you were to,
I've been called out.
If you were to take out the sexual harassment out of Hooters and just leave the good part, that's Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
No.
Yeah, they have 7 in Portland alone.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to step out of my comfort zone and get wild. Wings.
Dustin's saying that talking about Bennigan's is like requesting to be seated in the non-smoking section at a restaurant. Am I that off base? Did they really shut all those shits down back in the early 2000s? What did I miss? I mean, it's not like I was frequenting them. I just figured somebody was. I'm looking this thing up. We're gonna stretch the stream out a little longer to solve a Bennigan's related mystery.
Okay.
How many miles to the nearest Bennigan's from where I'm at? Oh, Jesus. Not that far. Oh, permanently closed. Okay, there was one in Tampa. The one in Orlando seems to be closed permanently. Multiple ones in Orlando closed permanently. Uh-oh. Dustin, you're right. My knowledge of fast casual eating in America is declining with age.
Oh, I'm disappointed in you.
Do you think it's a good thing?
Is there one in... Oh, there is one in Elgin. So Dustin can go to the one in Elgin if he's got a craving for Bennigan's.
Dustin, where is Dustin roughly?
Dustin can talk about where Dustin's at roughly.
Yeah, don't dox him. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah. Chicago suburbs, he says. Pete's old stomping grounds. That's right. Dustin and I met back when I was 16 and we were both working at GameStop in the mall in the Chicago suburbs.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I didn't know your friendship went that far back. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never been to Chicago. Is it worth a trip?
Yeah, absolutely. The food in Chicago is unique. I can't really get it anywhere else. And it's excellent. And the downtown metro area, also a gem. Incredible vistas, unlike any other great American city. And
Really?
lots of really great stuff to see. Really amazing waterfront museums, parks and stuff. It's really actually quite excellent. In a lot of the ways that sort of Manhattan is excellent, there's a lot of Metro Chicago that's excellent in the same way.
Okay.
But with its own particular kind of flavor. I mean, I saw somebody make a post on Twitter, and they're like, dude, how come nobody told me there's a giant square head in Chicago that spits on you? And then children gather around it and it gets sprayed with water and stuff. And I was like, yeah, Millennium Park, that place is fucking awesome.
Okay, I see. Whenever I think of Chicago, I just think of big city on the lake and very cold. And that's all I know.
Not cold through most of the
Pizza.
Not cold through most of the year. And there is like a giant face, like it spits on children throughout the whole
That's
summertime.
beautiful.
Millennium Park is fucking awesome. It's like an entire complex, kind of like it's kind of like Central Park. It's a bit smaller, but there's the bean over there. There's the fountain. There's this giant amphitheater thing, this winding, bridge that goes over the highway. And then on this side is these like gigantic playgrounds and like meandering parks and cool stuff. And it's all like right there. And it's like just on the other side of here is like the waterfront. So there's like a giant pier over here and stuff. And a lot of shit around there is pretty walkable. It's really gorgeous and like tons. And then on the other side of here, there's a bridge that leads directly into the art museum, which is one of like, the largest and art museums in North America. And it's just like right off of this giant fucking park next to these weird installations that are all amazing to go see in person. And you can get Chicago-style hot dogs out at the vendors out here, and they're fucking just as good as everybody says they are. And anybody who doesn't like them doesn't have good taste.
I like hot dogs, so I'm down. It's really hard to...
Pete, there is a relevant question in the Twitch chat.
In the Twitch chat. Ooh, what's coming up? Want to join us for gesture drawing? I'm going to take a break. I've been drawing for a bit. The reason I don't do the gesture drawing is because I'm doing daily studies. Like, I only can kind of muster about one study session a day.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd be down for the gesture drawing too, but this entire time I've been working on stuff. So I need a break.
Yeah.
Someday. I promise.
But along the waterfront here in Chicago, they've got there's the art museum, but then they've also got a planetarium, an aquarium, the field museum. They're all like in a complex, and a lot of them are accessible all off the water, off like water taxi and stuff. Really nice. The kind of sort of walkable European bullshit that like most American cities don't have. There's like chunks of Chicago that are just like that. And this is also walkable from the major train station that leads into the metro area from the suburbs. So we would take the train downtown and just go kick around and stuff, do it with the kids. I was once out here in the park, and then a fucking tornado siren went off, and everyone scattered, and it was just me and the kids about to get bowled over by a tornado in the middle of the city.
You have tornadoes in Chicago? That's not helping.
Every once in a while. But, like, look at this. This is, like, very picturesque. It almost looks like a mock-up. It's, like, so peculiar that it's got these skyscrapers and stuff. Cute. There's also some really nice beaches over on the lakefront that also are butted up right next to the skyscrapers in a way that's very fun. I was once in a very not sober state hanging out at Ohio Street Beach and just thinking like this was the fucking one of the greatest moments of my life, and thought it was awesome. Just like sparkly eyes, just like having this beautiful summer day in a totally not sober state, just having a fucking blast out here on the beach. It's great, very memorable.
Are you allowed to the beach after the sundown?
I don't know. I think maybe. I mean, it's like right there in the city. It's not like it's gated off or anything.
Gotcha.
Okay.
A lot of really great public spaces. A lot of really great public spaces around Chicago. Huge city, gigantic, and then everything along the riverfront is pretty incredible. There's a lot of really incredible architecture. There's this one giant building they have where they have like the world's largest projector set like built into the side of this walkway that projects across the side of this huge facade across the lake. And walking up and down the riverfront here, it's just really incredible, the whole scale of everything. Really beautiful and nice and safe, and feels excellent to go and hang around here. I would seriously, when we were in Chicago and we just wanted to like get out for a day, we would just go take the train downtown and just go kick around, because anywhere you go, any urban place that feels like this, you kind of don't need a destination. It just feels great to move through it. And Chicago has always been good for that.
I had no idea. I mean, that's one of my big issues about hanging around in the U.S. is the infrastructure is just so not people-oriented.
Generally, yes, but there are pockets of it that are quite good. And downtown Chicago, I think it's one of them. And I didn't know that. Chicago, near the river, It's gorgeous, and it's full of walkways and bridges and shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I've never been. Maybe I should take a trip up sometime.
Yeah.
Plus, the pizza, man. I cannot find deep dish pizza very easily.
Deep
over
dish
here.
pizza's fine. I personally, I'd recommend everybody try it, but I wouldn't say that's the reason to go to Chicago. There is so much weird, interesting Chicago food that goes beyond deep dish pizza. Highly recommend.
Yeah?
Justin was just saying he was just walking the river walk at night last week. Unbelievable. Highly recommend. Incredible experience. Oh, and Dustin says it'll show you around Chicago if you ever want to visit.
Okay.
But
Well, I will keep my eyes open.
yeah.
I'd love
My mind
to
open.
when I'll have career and money.
Yeah, when are you coming?
Welcome.
We'll get a place in Seattle, buddy.
Let's go.
It's funny, like, this is what I think of when I think of Chicago, is like along the Riverwalk and stuff here. And then when you hear about like Chicago from like the news, especially outside the US, people are like, aren't you nervous that you're going to be murdered in that city? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Oh, I know. I never even considered that being like a trope of Chicago.
oh,
For
yeah.
me, it's just like every time I'd seen pictures of Chicago, it looked like, I mean, this is completely wrong. I know it's not true, but like a kind of like just big, normal American city without much interesting going on. Which
That's Indianapolis.
That's just limited knowledge on my part. And I know that's untrue.
most American cities. Yes, like Indianapolis, Cincinnati. Yeah, no, they are like that. Absolutely.
Great. I love being proven wrong. So this is cool.
But yeah, you could see the building with the projector across the back of it over there and stuff. It's just no. Chicago's got real shit, like world class city.
Fantastic. Cool.
Beautiful
Cool.
place.
Okay.
wish I had lived closer to it because it was like I lived way deep in the suburbs. It'd take me an hour to get here. So, and then parking and all that kind of stuff. So we went out on like special field trips where we didn't get to enjoy it on a day to day. And honestly, I would like to take a vacation to Chicago to go like rent a place downtown like during the summertime and do that as like a summer vacation thing, but like not in the burbs, but like in the city itself. Because I've always lived adjacent to it, but I never got to live in it.
I know that feeling. That's how I was in Seattle. I always lived in like West Seattle or Bellevue or Kirkland, but never like in the damn place. So city living would be an interesting experience. But we were talking about doing camping.
Yeah, there's also some camping. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things to do. First things first, I'm going to be at Lightbox Expo. Anybody who's going to be at Lightbox Expo, come catch me. I'm in the back corner, back left corner. I'll have a big ass banner, a big ass booth. I'll have books. I've got card decks. I've got prints. I've got pins. I'm bringing everything loose that's been hanging out in my shit, like in my parents' closets in their vacation home. Oh, every St. Patrick's Day they dye the whole river green. So gross looking.
I hear about that. Yeah,
This looks so gross. Anyways,
it's kind of fun.
come out and see me if you're going to be at Lightbox. Say hi, and then after that's all done and that travel's off the books, then yeah, I got to figure out what my next travel thing's going to be. Maybe meet up with some other artists doing something fun. But between now and then, we got to figure out a raid target, and then I'm going to log out and get out of here. Duke Hoover. Okay. This channel has follower or subscriber only chat. Okay, so you guys all be well behaved over there, won't you? I'll see you all around. See you on Monday. Goodbye.